We have volume 1, The Clown, on my screen right now. I'll try to do 10 chapters today, but overall, for the entire week, we'll aim for 15 to 30 chapters per week, right? Anywhere between that. So let's jump into it. Reminder, early access available on Patreon. On YouTube videos, there's going to be a small filter here on the book itself, so I don't get striked. Also, catch my streams live. There will be no filter as well. Anyway, let's jump into it right now. Okay, I won't read chat much for now, by the way. Cuttlefish that loves diving. Before this, I had no idea what the cuttlefish was, by the way. I looked it up. It's a real fish. I was surprised. Anyway, in the works, I can't see it very well. Can I zoom? In the waves of steam and machinery, who could achieve extraordinary? In the fogs of history and darkness, who was whispering? I woke up from the realm of mysteries and opened my eyes to the world. Firearms, cannons, battleships, airships, and different machines. Potions, divination, curses, hanged man, and sealed artifacts. The light shone brightly. Yet the secrets of the world were never far away. This was a legend of the fool. Oh my god, that was cold. I'm glad I read that, by the way. Holy shit. Oh, the synopsis? Wanna turn up the volume? Okay, I will. That was the synopsis, I guess. Damn. Okay, now the real book. Okay, so copyright, yeah. This is a reaction video, so actually it is corrected by fair use. Oh, this is the synopsis. Again. Just like the back of the book. Okay. So we read that just now. Who or what is the lurking evil that murmurs into our ears? Ooh. Waking up to a force with a string of mysteries. Wait, this is a new synopsis actually, so let's read this again. With the rising tide of steam power and machinery, who can come close to being a beyonder? Shrouded in the fog of history and darkness, who or what is the lurking evil that murmurs into our ears? Waking up to be faced with a string of mysteries, Shaw Mingrui finds himself reincarnated as Klein Moretti in an alternative Victorian-era world, where he sees a world filled with machinery, cannons, dreadnoughts, airships, different machines as well as potions, divination, hexes, tarot cards, and sealed artifacts. Damn. The light continues to shine, but mystery has never gone far. Follow Klein as he finds himself entangled with the churches of the world, both orthodox and unorthodox, while he slowly develops newfound powers thanks to the Beyonder potions, like the corresponding tarot card, the Fool, which is number 0 of unlimited potential. Oh, the tarot card, yeah. This is the legend of the Fool. I see. This synopsis was actually different than the behind the book. Oh no, wait, what the hell? Should I look away? Hello? It keeps going. Wait, the first book is like 236 chapters. Wait, what did I get myself into? It doesn't stop. Oh, I can click on them? Okay, front cover synopsis, chapter 1, Crimson. Okay. Sorry, oh, I have to resize this. Let's see the best size. Sorry, first stream is always gonna be scuffed, right? Okay. Like this. And then let's move the chat a little bit here. First stream is always scuffed, dude. Here we go. Painful. How painful. My head hurts so badly. A gaudy and dazzling dream world filled with murmurs instantly shattered. The sound asleep Shaw Mingrui felt an abnormal throbbing pain in his head, as though someone had ruthlessly lashed at him with a pole again and again. So he was sleeping. So he was actually sleeping, that's damn. I thought it was right after his no, actually from the shippy it wasn't right after as well. No, it was more like a sharp object pierced right through his temples, followed by a twist. Oh, did he feel himself being shot? Damn. Ouch. In a stopper, Shaw Mingrui attempted to turn around, look up and sit up. However, he was completely unable to move his limbs as though he had lost control over his body. From the book, From the looks of it, I'm still not awake. I'm still in a dream. Who knows? Perhaps the next scene will be me thinking I'm already awake, but in fact, I'm actually still sleeping. Oh damn. Interesting. Sho Mingui, who was not unfamiliar with similar encounters, tried his best to focus in order to escape the shackles placed upon him by the darkness and confusion. Imagine that happening in your sleep, by the way. So he felt being shot, I guess. And this is like after the luck enchantment, right? However, while still on his reverie, whatever will he could summon was ethereal, like a fleeting fog. Jeez, he found his thoughts difficult to control and introspect. No matter how much he tried, he still lost his focus as the random thoughts surfaced in his mind. Okay. Why would I suddenly have such an excruciating headache in the middle of the night? I wonder why. Wait, I'm not reading the new translation. Is it a problem? Is it a problem? Am I gonna get in trouble for not reading the new one? And it's really painful. Would it be something like cerebral hemorrhage? Ugh. Fuck. Don't tell me I'm going to die young. I need to wake up now. Not a problem? Okay. Why doesn't it seem to hurt as much as before? But why does it still feel like a blunt knife is slicing through my brains? From the looks of it, I won't be able to continue sleeping anymore. How am I to show up for work tomorrow? So, at this point, he felt the pain, but he hasn't been transmigrated. So he's still in China, or like in his own world right now. Why am I still thinking about work? This is some authentic headache. I wonder how like bad headache was. I mean, Shaw thought he was getting like a hemorrhage in his head. Of course, I have to take time off. I don't have to worry about my manager's crumblings. Hey, putting it that way doesn't seem too bad. Huh? I can end up getting some spare time for myself. Dude wants to go on paid leave so bad. I guess call in sick, you know? Throbbing pain inundated So Mingrui, allowing him to slowly accumulate immaterial strength until he was finally able to move his back and open his eyes. He finally broke free from his reverie. Reverie? Is that like a state of like sleeping? His vision first blurred before it was screened by a faint crimson red. All he could see was a study desk. Oh! He got transmigrated! Holy shit! Wait, what about the scenes from the shippy? Are they gonna come later? Like all the, you know, baboons? All the, in the workplace? Remember the shippy? I thought we were gonna have like a chapter of him being in the real world and then get transmigrated later. Okay. All he could see was a study desk made of burly wood in front of him. Right in the middle was an open notebook with the coarse yellow pages. The title was eye-catchingly written with strange deep black lettering. To the left of the notebook was a stack of nearly arranged books, numbering about 8. The wall on the right was inset with grayish white pipes, with wall lamps connected to them. Damn, I love how descriptive this is, because I never read a web novel before, right? I read manga. I have read a few mangas before, and the descriptive part is with pictures, right? But now everything is being described and I can see the picture in my head. Obviously, like watching the donghua helps me picture it better, but in the future, like when we reach volume 2 or volume 3, I'm gonna be pictured in my head, you know? I'm gonna gain IQ reading this, by the way. I feel like I'm gonna gain IQ. Also, there's some difficult words, you know what I mean? So I have to like look them up on Google sometimes. I'm gonna actually become smarter. To the left of the notebook was a stack of neatly... Yeah, I read this. The lamp had a classical Western style to it. It was about half the size of an adult's head, with an inner layer of transparent glass, and an exterior gridded with black metal. Okay. Diagonally beneath the lamp was a black ink bottle shrouded in a pale red glow. Its embossed surface formed a blurry angel pattern. Damn, okay. In front of the ink bottle and to the right of the notebook sat a dark-colored pen with a fully circular body. Its tip shimmered with a faint glint, while its cap rested right beside a brass revolver. Yeah, I thought it was golden. When I first saw it, it was golden. Why is he showing the screen? Because I can. If you just came, when I upload this to YouTube, there's gonna be a filter on it, right? But on stream, I will delete the stream right after, so they can't strike me. Try. Wait, don't clip it. A gun, a revolver. Shaw Mingray was completely taken back. The things laid before him were alien to him. It looked like nothing in his room. Like his room, sorry. While feeling shocked and confused, he discovered that the desk, notebook, ink bottle, and revolver were covered in a layer of crimson. Real? Oh. A result of the light shining from the window. Oh, because it's a red full moon. Because it's always a red moon outside. Subconsciously, he looked up and shifted his gaze up by a bit. In mid-air, a crimson moon hung high above the backdrop of a black velvet curtain, glowing in silence. This, Shaw Mingray felt inexplicably horrified as he stood up abruptly. However, before his feet fully straightened, his brain protested with a throbbing pain. It made him temporarily lose his strength as he fell uncomfortably. His buttocks slammed heavily onto the burly wood chair. Yeah. In the donghua, we saw the wound close, right? We literally saw wound in his temple, so in his head, or here, right? And it closed. So I wonder if there's an open wound right now. Bah! The pain did little. Shaw Mingray stood up again by propping himself up. He turned around in a fluster as he began to size up the environment he was in. The room was not very large, with a brown door on each side of the room. Close to an opposite wall was a low wooden bed. Also, if you have any feedback on my reading speed, let me know. If I'm too fast, too slow, just say, okay? Between the bed and the left door was a cabinet. Its two doors were swung open, and beneath it were 5 drawers. The side of the cabinet there was the same greyish-white pipe on the wall, at the height of a person. However, it was connected to a strange mechanical device with exposed gears and bearings in several spots. There's a lot of pipes in his room just because it's like the apartments in the Kedo, right? They don't have really good design. Yeah, I have a really big picture in my head right now. Items resembling coal stoves sat in the right corner of the room, near the table, along with the soup pots, iron pots, and other kitchen utensils. Across the right door was a dressing mirror with 2 cracks. Damn. With its bottom was made of wood, and the patterns were simple and plain. I wanna call Klein a brokey, but I feel bad. Okay, brokey. Sorry. With a sweep of his gaze, Shaw noticed himself in the mirror. The present him. Black hair, brown eyes, a linen shirt. Thinly built, average-looking features. Average-looking features? Average? No, bro. Bro is, like, even, like, is humbling himself. And a rather deep outline. This Shaw immediately drew a gasp as many helpless and confused guesses surfaced in his mind. The revolver in ancient European style. Ancient Europe. 1700 and 1600s is not ancient European. And the crimson moon that looked different from Earth's moon could only mean one thing. Could I have transmigrated? Shaw widened his mouth slightly. So, transmigration is a really big thing in China, right? That's why Klein like immediately figured it out. If bro is average looking, I'm underground. Yes, exactly. He had grown up reading web novels and had often fantasized. Yeah, see? He had grown up reading web novels and often fantasized over such scenes. However, he momentarily found it hard to accept the situation when he found himself in one. This was probably what if it means. This was probably what it means to love a fantasy. What is this one? Oh, wait. There's editor's notes. Okay, how do I go back? Wait. Wait. How do I easily go back? Footnotes. Yeah. Okay, let's read it. This is probably what it meant to love fantasy. Okay. This is actually a proverb that describes Lord Ye. Oh my god. Dude, I'm watching a record of Mortal Trinity Immortality, and there's a Ye in that show that I fucking hate, by the way. I didn't know they have Kanye West in the fucking China. They have Lord Ye. Anyway, in ancient times, Lord Ye was very fond of dragons, adoring his whole palace, beams, pillars, doors, windows, and walls, with drawings and carvings of them. When a real dragon in heaven heard of this, it was deeply moved by his infatuation and paid him a visit. When Lord Ye saw the real dragon thrusting in its head through the window of his study and its tail moving in its place, he was frightened out of the house for his life. Oh, clearly what Lord Ye was love was not a real dragon. Makes sense, dude. Makes sense. People say read faster? No. I'm reading really fast, I think. Yeah, it makes sense, like... I wish there was a button to go back faster to the original footnote. In a minute, Shaw Mingrui had already cursed himself while trying to make the best out of his adverse situation. If not for the still dropping headache that made his thoughts high-strung but clear, he would have definitely suspected that he was dreaming. Calm down, calm down, calm down. After taking a few deep breaths, Shaw Mingrui worked hard to stop panicking. At that moment, as his mind and body calmed down, memories began flooding him as they slowly appeared in his mind. Klein Moretti, a citizen of Northern Continent's Lowen Kingdom, Ava County, city of Tingen, is also a recent graduate from Department of History at Koi University. Damn. His father was a sergeant of the Imperial Army. Oh wait, this is interesting information, guys. Listen up. This is new. His father was a sergeant of the Imperial Army who had sacrificed himself during a colonial conflict with the Southern Continent. Ooh, Uvu County, yeah. So, by the way, wasn't it mentioned that the Southern Continent was like less developed than other continents because of colonialism? I think it was explained. Oh yeah, I remember now. The bereavement allowance gave him the opportunity to study. Oh, so he got allowance because of his dad's death, because he was in the army. Just like how Melissa and Benson got like £4,000, I think. The bereavement allowance gave Klein the opportunity to study at a private language school and laid the foundation for his admission into university. Okay. His mother was a devotee of the Evernight Goddess. She passed away the year Klein passed the entrance examinations to Koi University. Damn, that's depressing. She passed away. Did she die of like... What did she die of? They also had an elder brother and a younger sister. Yeah, Melissa and Benson. They stayed in a 2-bedroom apartment together. Yeah. I mean, we saw that... there was a bunk bed in Klein's room, right? Ligma, shut the fuck up. I can't believe I actually read your message. Their family was not wealthy, and this situation could even be described as somewhat wanting. Like wanting more. At present, the family was supported solely by the elder brother who worked at an import and export company as a clerk. Yeah. As a history graduate, Klein grasped knowledge. I mean, if you're a history graduate, then, like, where do you work, you know? Professor? Starbucks? I mean, old joke. I'm sorry. Deemed the origin of all languages in northern continent, as well as the Hermes language, which often appeared in ancient mausoleums. As well as texts regarding sacrificial and praying rituals. I guess you can be like a translator, researcher, do transcribes. I know that any of that didn't happen. He joined the Night Hawks, but still, you know. Consultant, yeah, exactly. Librarian, yeah, true. Hermes or Hermes? Shaw mind steered as he reached out to rub his throbbing temples. He cast his gaze toward the table, an open notebook. He noticed that the text of the yellow paper turned from strange to alien, before turning from alien to something familiar. It then turned into something readable. Oh wow, okay. Hermes? Okay. She's the Chinese Haz? What are we talking about? It was text written in Hermes language. The dark ink wrote the following: everyone will die, including me. Damn. Hiss. Shaw Mingrui felt inexplicably horrified. He instinctively leaned back in his attempt to widen the distance between him and the notebook, as well as the text on it. Being very weak, he nearly fell down, but managed to extend his hands in a fluster to hold on to the edge of the table. He felt the surrounding air was turbulent, as though there were faint murmurings. Ooh. Hornachis flagrea. The feeling was akin to hearing horror stories from being recounted by elders when he was young. He shook his head, believing that everything was illusion. Shaw found his balance and shifted his gaze from the notebook as he heaved for breath. This time his gaze landed on shimmering brass revolver. He suddenly had a question rise in him. With Klein's family situation, how can they have the money or means to buy a revolver? Shaw Mingrui could not help but frown. While in deep thought, he suddenly discovered a red handprint to the side of the table. Its color was deeper than the moonlight and much thicker than veal. Its blood. It was a bloody handprint. A bloody handprint? Shaw Mingrui subconsciously flipped his right hand that had been holding the edge of the table. Looking down, he saw that his swollen fingers were covered in blood. He's gonna find out next episode he shot himself. He still hasn't figured it out. But I'm impressed how fast he figured out that he was transmigrated. I'm guessing like because you know, he's Chinese. I mean, a lot of other people know about transmigration too, but I think it's like a very big thing in China, so... Wait, more. I thought it was over. At the same time, the throbbing pain in his head continued. Although it had weakened a little, it continued incessantly. They smashed my head open. Shaw guessed as he turned around and walked toward a cracked dressing mirror. A few steps later, a black-haired figure of medium build and brown eyes appeared clearly in front of him. Melissa! The Burton had a distinct scholarly air to him. Him? Oh shit, wait a second. Black-haired figure of medium build and brown eyes. Okay, never fucking mind. It's, I remember now, when Annie News was talking about it was different as well. I kind of wish that, it wasn't... I didn't watch the Annie News videos now, because back then I was unsure if I'm gonna read the thing or not. Yeah, Malibop, I see. Oh, it's a mirror! Ah. Oh my god. Skill issue, reading comprehension, man. And walk towards a cracked dressing mirror. Okay, first, fumble. Is this the present me, Klein Moretti? I thought you already talked about him being, you know, handsome. Or sorry, average looking. Mingrui was stunned momentarily, since there was some insufficient lighting At the night, he failed to see something clearly. He continued forward until he was just a step short from colliding with the mirror. Using the crimson wheel-like moonlight as an illumination, he turned his head and examined the corner of his forehead. A clear reflection appeared in the mirror. His temple had grotesque wound. Oh, we're gonna see the wound actually. Let's fucking go. Grotesque wound with burn marks along with its periphery. Blood stained the wound surroundings, and there were grayish-white brain juices. Ew! There were grayish-white brain juices skirming slowly within. So, he literally got shot, right? And then he got transmigrated. But his brain matter was still outside. So he regenerated, and I'm guessing it's because of the grey fog, right? Grey fog always saves him. He regenerated his brain. Okay, so we read the Lord Ye thing. Oh, it's the end. Okay. Grayish white brain juices. Oh my god. Okay, next chapter, guys. Wow, what a start, dude. Let me change the text to chapter 2. I really like how descriptive it is. I didn't know how descriptive it's gonna be, but it was really good. I think I'm reading fast, but there for a second I fumbled with the mirror thing. So maybe I should like read a little bit slower, you know what I mean? Really love how descriptive it is, yeah. And I thought, by the way, that first chapter was gonna be about Shaw on Earth doing his daily business and doing the luck enchantment. And then in chapter 2 or 3, he was gonna transmigrate. But no, we see the transmigration in the first chapter, in the first few, or literally in the first goddamn sentence, right? So I'm guessing there's gonna be a chapter in the future that, you know, we're gonna see him doing his daily life. Maybe he's gonna remember or something. Yeah, cool. Wait. Chapter 2. Situation. 1 second. Let me check if I got banned on Twitch already for using multi-chat. I have an email. Okay, no, it's not. That's good. Situation. Tap. Shaw reeled back in fear at the sight that greeted him. It was as though the person in the dressing mirror was not himself, but a desiccated corpse. How could a person with such grievous wounds be still alive? He regenerated. He turned his head in disbelief again and checked the other side. Even though he was just distance away and the lining was poor, he could still see the penetrating wound and dark red blood stains. This. Shaw drew a deep breath as he tried hard to calm himself. He reached out to press his left chest and sensed his racing heart that exuded immense vitality. Yeah, I mean, his beats per minute is off the charts. He then touched his exposed skin. Oh gosh. Beneath the slight coldness was flowing warmth. So he hasn't regenerated yet. Oh my god. 95 viewers? Oh wow. Thank you guys. So the wound is still open. It all shit exposed skin. Wait, isn't all skin exposed? Or his chest? Wait, it didn't touch his exposed skin. Okay. When he squatted down and after verifying that his knees could bend, Shaw Mingroi stood up again and calmed down. What's happening? He muttered with a frown. He planned to inspect his head injury seriously once more. He took 2 steps forward and suddenly paused. The moonlight of the sanguine moon... Sanguine? I like that word, sanguine. What does that mean? Was relatively dark. I thought sanguine is to do with vampires. Oh, it was closing fast in animation? I see. Was relatively dark, so it was insufficient for a serious inspection. A memory fragment triggered as Shaw turned his head to look at the grayish-white pipes and the metallic gridded lamp on the wall right beside the study desk. This was the most common cast lamp of the times. Its flame was stable, and the illumination capabilities were excellent. Okay. Sanguine means red like blood. Ah, okay. Gotcha. Bloody. With Klein's family situation, even a kerosene lamp was a dream, much less a cast lamp. Using candle was most apt for their standing and stature. However, back when he burned the midnight oil 4 years ago to be admitted in the Coin University, his elder brother Penson felt that it was an important matter which their family's future depended upon. Therefore, he insisted on creating conductive studying conditions for Klein, even if it meant taking on debt. Penson the goat! Again, man! Holy shit, he keeps doing it! Of course, Penson, who was illiterate. Wait, no, wait, what the fuck? Of course, Penson was literate, and had worked for several years, was not a rash person who did not think of consequences. He had quite some tricks up his sleeve. Yeah, quote. He reasoned with the landlord to raise the apartment's standards by installing gas pipes. Oh, let's go. To improve the likelihood of rentals in the future. So I wonder if people are saying that Benson is bald, right? Or like he's balding. Maybe he's balding because of stress, right? Because imagine if you're Benson for a second. Your parents died. You're the oldest brother. It's your responsibility to take care of you know, your family. Then using the landlord was convinced and provided the money to complete the basic modification. Then, using convenience of working at an import and export company, he purchased a brand new gas lamp, which was nearly at cost price. Wow. In the end, he needed was to use his savings and did not need to borrow money. Damn. Receding hairline. My hairline is also receding. I hide it with long hair, guys. Or medium length hair. After the memory fragment flashed past his mind, Shaw came to the desk where he turned the pipe's valve and began twisting the gas lamp switch. Okay. With a sputtering sound, a spark sounded from friction. Light did not descend upon Shaw as he had expected. He twisted the switch a few more times, but all the gas lamp did was sputter and remain dark. Retracting his hand and pressing on his left temple, Shaw Mingrui sought for the reason by rummaging through his memory fragments. A few seconds later, he turned around and walked toward the door. He arrived at a machine installation which had similarly inset into the wall, and then grayish white pipes connected to it. This was a gas meter. Damn. Okay. After seeing the exposed gears and bearings, Shaw Mingrui took out a coin from his trousers pocket. Dark yellow in color, it had bronze shimmer to it. The front of the coin was engraved with a portrait of a crown-wearing man, Roselle, and there was a 1 on a clump of wheat on the back. So it's like one, not pound, but what's it called? Soli? 1 soli or 1 penny. Shaw Mingrui knew that this was the most basic currency of the Loan Kingdom. It's called a copper penny. Yeah, penny. 1 penny purchasing power was roughly 3 to 4 yuan before this transmigration. Okay. Such coins had other denominations such as the 5 pence, half pence, and a quarter pence. Yeah. Imagine having quarter pence. Despite the 3 types, denominations were not in small enough units. In everyday life, one had to buy several different things just to spend a single coin from time to time. After flipping the coin, which only minted and circulated after King George III. Ah, okay. Circulated after King George III ascended the throne a few times. Because Loan, yeah, of course, it will not be Roselle, because Roselle is Inuit, not Inuit, Inuit Kingdom, and Loan has or had George III. Right now, that's the king right now. Intis, exactly. Inuit. Intis, yeah. So of course, Loanese money does not have Roselle on its money. Anyway, a few times Shaw inserted into Casimir thin vertical mouth. Click, clang, clang. After the penny fell to the bottom of the meter, the sound of grinding gears sounded immediately, producing a short but melodious mechanical rhythm. The one is basically England and this is French. Oh my god, that's why Roselle had a fucking French accent. Damn! I was watching the dub yesterday. Episode like 1, 2, 3 reactions coming soon, right? And he had a fucking Frenchy accent. I was like, ugh. Sorry if you're French, by the way. I'm so sorry. Shaw stared at the meter for a few seconds before returning to the pearly wood desk. He then reached out to twist the gas lamp switch. After some sputtering, there was a sharp sound. What the fuck is happening in chat, guys? I don't get why there was a Roselle statue in Tingen. Because he's an innovator, you know? He's an innovator. He made a lot of things, like steamships. He made tarot cards, you know what I mean? That's why, right? After some sputtering, there was a sharp sound. A fire plum ignited and rapidly grew. Bright light first occupied in the internals of the wall lamp before penetrating the transparent glass, blanketing the room with a warm glow. Damn, okay. So they can see better. The darkness quickly reached as the crimson retracted onto the window. Shaw felt at ease for a baffling reason as he quickly came in front of the dressing mirror. Okay, let's see what he's gonna say about himself. This time he seriously inspected his temple and did not miss a single detail. After a few rounds of inspection, he realized that apart from the original bloodstain, liquid was no longer flowing out of the grotesque wound. It appeared like it had received the best hemostasis and bandaging. As for the slowly skirming grayish-white brain and discernible growth of flesh and blood around the wound, it meant that the wound might have 30 to 40 minutes or maybe even 2 to 3 hours before it would only leave a light scar. That's crazy, dude. The restorative effects that transmigration brings. Shaw curled up the right corner of his mouth as he muttered silently. Following that, he let out a long sigh, regardless he was still alive. After setting his mind, he pulled open a drawer and took out a tiny piece of soap. He took one of an old and tattered towels hanging by the side of the cupboard, opened the door. He then walked to the public bathroom, which was shared by the tenants on the second floor. Yes, I should clean up the bloodstains on my head or I'll keep looking like a crime scene. It's fine scaring myself. But if I were to scare my sister, Melissa, when she gets up early in the morning tomorrow, it will be quite problematic. The corridor outside was pitch black. Silhouettes were barely accentuated with the look by the crimson moonlight from the window. At the end of the corridor, they looked like a pair of monster eyes that silently observed living late in the night. Shaw lightened his footsteps as he walked towards the communal bathroom with a shuddering fear. I know, right? We're still talking about the wound. When he entered, there was even more moonlight, allowing him to see everything clearly. Shaw stood in front of a wash basin and turned the tap knob. Upon hearing the gushing sound of water, he suddenly recalled his landlord, Mr. Frankie. That's such a fucking goofy name. Sorry if you're called Frankie, by the way. I don't know why I'm giving like random shots to French people, to people called Frankie. I'm sorry. As water was included in the rent. Oh my god. So, how many of you guys have communal bathrooms, right? Because I never had one, but it always like is a turn off, kinda, having a communal bathroom because, like, I feel like other people won't be cleaning as much. You know what I mean? Like you're showering other people's dirt, basically. My dorm had one. I'm drinking a Femboy Monster, by the way. Gold Tormhead Communal. As long as everyone cleans, it's fine, right? Anyway. As water was included in the rent, the short and thin gentleman wore a top hat, a vest, and a black suit, always inspected the bathroom actively to take note of any sounds of flowing water. I had when I was renting in college. I see. In the water gushed too loudly, Mr. Frankie could ignore all of his gentlemanly traits by flailing his walking stick and striking the... Such a fucking landlord, by the way. Like, top hat, maybe has a monocle, you know. Following the, what's it called? A fashion trend of having a monocle, apparently. Mr. Frankie would ignore all of his gentlemanly traits by flailing his walking stick and striking the bathroom door, shouting things like, "Darn thief, wastage is shameless matter, I'll remember you. If I see this happen another time, scram along with your filthy luggage. Mark my words, it's the worst value for money apartment in Tingen City. You will not have more like... you will not find a more kindly landlord anywhere else, dude." What a fucking loser, man. Self-glaze. Absolute self-glaze. Putting away those thoughts, Shaw used that moist towel to clean the blood stains from his face again and again. After checking using the rundown mirror in the bathroom and verifying that all that was left was hideous wound and a pale face, Shaw relaxed. Then he took off his linen shirt and used a bar of soap to wash away the bloodstains. At that moment, he knitted the brows and recalled the possible problem. The wound was too exaggerated, and there was too much blood. Apart from his body, his room likely still had signs of his injury. Yeah, true. After Shaw was done with his linen shirt, a few minutes later he briskly returned to his apartment with a moist towel. He first wiped the blood handprint on the desk and, using the gas lamp's illumination, sought out spots which he missed out. Okay. He immediately discovered that quite a substantial amount of blood had splattered into the floor beneath the desk, and there was a yellow bullet on the left side of the wall. You have to clean all that up. You guys love spamming this emote, by the way. How do I even replicate that? That's a monocle, right? Wait, what's if you have two monocles, is that a double call? Duo call? Or is that just classes? Releasing around with the revolver pointed at the temple, after mixing and matching the clues from before, Shaw had a rough idea how Klein had died. Okay. He was suicide. He was in no hurry to verify his quest. Instead, he seriously wiped away the bloodstains and cleared up the scene. Following that, he took the bullet and returned to the side of his desk. He opened the revolver cylinder and poured out the rounds inside. Two monocles spectacle? Oh, really? Dude, I did not know. See, I'm gaining IQ, bro. I'm gaining IQ reading this this book and reading to you guys. Well, I use 3 monocles for each of my eyes. You have 3 eyes. That's crazy. And poured out the rounds inside. A total of 5 rounds and cartridges. Cartridge shell all had brass luster to them. Indeed. Indeed. Shaw looked at the empty cartridge shell in the front of him and stuffed the rounds back into the cylinder while nodding. He shifted his gaze to the left and it landed to the notebook's words, "Everyone will die, including me." Following that, even more questions arose in him. Where did the gun come from? Was it a suicide or a faked suicide? What kind of What if Klein knew before Shaw? What if Klein knew about transmigration and he had to do it so he can keep living or something like that? I don't know. Or he knew about the transmigration, and to unlock the grey fog he had to kill himself. Or something like that. What if... And the transmigration was maybe what Klein actually wanted to happen to him so he can unlock the grey fog. What kind of trouble could a history graduate of humble origins get himself into? I wonder if Shaw can ever get his memories back. As in, he has most of his memories back, but he's missing the last few days, right? Why will such a suicide method only leave behind so little blood? Was it because I transmigrated in a timely manner and came with healing benefits? Ooh, maybe. I mean, we do know that he regenerated, so yeah. After pondering for a moment, Shaw changed into another linen shirt. He sat on the chair and began pondering over more important matters. Lane experience was still not something he needed to concern himself with a true problem. Concern himself with. The true problem was to figure out the reason for his transmigration and if he could return. But he is never returning, right? I don't think he's never returning, man. We're gonna finish all the mysteries. He's gonna be like sequence once here, and he's never returning, man. Fuck. The client's experience was still not something he needed to concern himself with. Oh, I just read that. I'm sorry. His parents, relatives, best buddies, and best friends. The fascinating world of the internet, and all sorts of delicious delicacies. These were reasons that prompted his desire to return. Okay, parents, relatives, best buddies, internets, friends, and food. Yeah. Mods. Click, click, click. Shaw right hand was subconsciously pulling out the revolver cylinder and slamming it back into place again and again. Interesting. He's testing, he's investigating. Yeah, there has not been much difference for me between this period of time and the past. I was just a little unlucky, but why would I transmigrate for no baffling reason? Bad luck, yes. I tried a lock enchantment ritual before dinner today. Yeah. Can somebody send me the lock enchantment? I wanna read it. Also join my Discord, by the way. There's a link in the description. I think I put it there. It's gonna be shown later. Okay, gotcha. I wanna see like word by word what it was, so I can make theories. Read further. Okay, thank you. Also, yeah, but you can still join my Discord. A thought flashed in Shaw's mind, illuminating the memories which were concealed by a fog of confusion. As a qualified keyboard politician. As a qualified keyboard politician. Keyboard historian, keyboard economist, keyboard biologist, keyboard folklorist. He had always deemed himself as knowing something of everything. Yeah, keyboard warrior. Of course, his best buddy would often mock him as knowing little of everything. Oh, like jack of all trades but master of none. Am I gonna read the entire book? Yes. And one of them was a Chinese divination. When he visited his hometown last year, he had discovered a thread-bound book titled Quintessential Divination and Arcane Arts of the Qin and Han Dynasty. Okay. At an old bookstore. It looked pretty interesting and could aid him in posturing on the internet, so he bought it. Unfortunately, his interest was short-lived. The vertical script it used made the reading experience horrible. All he did was flip through the beginning pages before he threw it into a corner. A thread-bound book titled Quintessential Divination and Arcane Arts. Qin and Han Dynasty. What? Wait, that's a real dynasty, right? (221 BCE), foundation of the Imperial China. Brutal policies, short-lived. Does it have any connection to... I see. Rival of My Countries. Old book. The first two dynasties. I wonder if this have any connection to the world of not Loan, but the transmigrated world. This Rate Pro is gonna finish the volume next year. If you want someone to read really fast, watch something else. I like discussing, man. So sit your ass down. He had experienced a spate of bad luck in the past month. Wait, he had experienced a spate of bad luck in the past month, losing his cell phone, customers running away after cheating him, and mistakes at work. Damn, poor guy. Only then he suddenly recalled the luck enchantment written in at the beginning of quintessential divination and arcane arts. Furthermore, the requirements were extremely simple, with any basic foundation requirements. All he needed was to get 4 portions of staple food in his area and place them in the 4 corners of his room. Okay, here we go, guys. They could be placed on the furniture, such as tables and cupboards. Then, standing in the middle of the room, he had to take 4 steps in the counterclockwise fashion to make a square. The first step required him to sincerely chant the immortal... Okay, here we go. Then... The immortal Lord of Heaven and Earth, for blessings. Second step was silently chant the Sky Lord of Heaven and Earth for a blessing. The third step was the exalted reach of heaven and earth for blessings. And the fourth step was the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessings. After 4 steps were taken, he needed to close his eyes and wait 5 minutes in his original spot. Only then will the ritual be considered complete. Celestial worthy. Celestial worthy. Celestial worthy. Celestial worthy. Celestial worthy gave him the gay fog, maybe, then. Interesting. The Sky Lord of Heaven and Earth for blessings. Dirge, King of Other Gods. Okay. Interesting. I think there's a higher power that granted Klein the Grey Fog, of course, but who is it, bro? Ginger Bangakor. Since it did not cost him any money, he found the book, followed what was stipulated, and did it before dinner. However, nothing happened back then. Who would have guessed that he would actually transmit in the middle of the night? Transmigration! There's a distinct possibility that it's due to lack enchantment ritual. Yes, I should give it a try here tomorrow. It's really because of that I stand a chance of transmitting back. He doesn't know, guys. Chance of transmigrating back. Who are you joking? Shaw stopped flicking the revolver cylinder and suddenly sat straight up. Regardless, he had to give it a try. He had to attempt a Hail Mary. Good luck, guys. Oh gosh. Wow. Okay. This was all covered in the first like 3 minutes of the anime, by the way. But like, I genuinely think Shaw is not going back. I can see the first book ending with maybe Klein becoming an unorthodox god or something like that. So that's how I see it ending, right? And him meeting the celestial worthy, whoever that is. Anyway, apparently there was some stuff going on in chat, so I'll avoid you guys for a few minutes. Celestial fairy, okay. Celestial worthy of heaven and earth's blessings. The exalted church, like the king of gods. The Sky Lord of heaven and earth. The immortal Lord of heaven and earth. Okay, interesting. Where's my book? Chapter 3. Melissa. It's a whole chapter for Melissa. Let's fucking go, guys. Chapter 3, guys. One second, guys. I'm double checking something. How are we have 100 viewers? What the fuck? We love Melissa. We love Melissa and Benson. Don't forget, by the way. After confirming his plan, Shaw immediately felt he had a mental crutch. His fear and unease were all swept away into a corner of his mind. Only then did he give the mood to carefully study Klein's memory fragments. Shaw habitually stood up before turning off the pipe's valve. He watched the wall lamp gradually dim until its flame extinguished, before sitting back down. As he subconsciously fiddled with the revolver's brass cylinder, he pressed the side of his head. He slowly recalled his memories in the crimson-dyed darkness, as though he was the most attentive viewer in a movie theater. Perhaps the result of having a bullet pass through his head, Klein's memories were like a shattered glass. Not only were their memories not contiguous, there were many spots which were clearly missing. For example, memories pertaining to how the exquisite revolver appeared in his possession, whether he had committed suicide or was killed, as well as the meaning of the words "everyone will die including me" on the notebook, or whatever he had participated in anything odd 2 days before the incident. So these memories are not coming back. I wonder if he's gonna get it back in the future, guys. Username is hot? Yeah, he is. Not only had these particular memories become fragmented, there were also missing pieces. It was the same even for knowledge he ought to know. In light of the present situation, Shaw believed that if Klein were to return to university, it was unlikely he could graduate. This was despite him having left campus just days ago without relaxing one bit. Okay. He needs to participate in Tingen's University. He needs to participate in Tingen's University's history department interview 2 days later. Oh, interesting. The university graduates of Lower Kingdom do not have the tradition of staying at their alma mater. His mentor had given him a recommendation letter for Tingen's University and Backland University. W. Azik, guys. Another gifted sub. Thank you, Connection. You and Lucy Rem, literally, Connection is my sugar daddy. Lucy Rem is my sugar mommy. Thank you so much, guys. I went on Hollow Knight OST. Okay, dude. Let's go Lies of P music. I never saw Lies of P. We're gonna have a different song every single day, by the way. I'm just saying, so don't worry. It's not gonna be every fucking day. Same song. Through the window shows... By the way, W. Asik, again. Through the window, Shaw silently observed the red moon setting in the west. The gradual singing of the moon continued until faint light glowed from the east, dyeing the horizon golden. At that moment, there were commotion inside the apartment. Soon, the sound of footsteps approached his door. Melissa! Dude, but I was like saying Melissa is gonna come in chapter 1. I was so unaware how of a slow burn this is. And I love slow burning stuff. And that's one of the reasons why I cried when old Neil died. Because the whole episode, in episode 9, was like a slow episode until old Neil's death, right? But in episode 13, I teared up a little bit for Don Smith because so much stuff was happening at once. You know what I mean? That I didn't have the time to process that Don Smith died. So when I was editing episode 13, I was actually fucking sobbing. Thank you, Marilyn Hermans. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate it. This has lyrics? Merlin the goat. Yeah. They subbed. Thank you. There are a lot of Merlins, by the way. Merlin. Can someone send me? Does anyone know? Yes, they will. The YouTube video will come out in a week. Patreon will be a month ahead. Can someone send me a Lies of BOST without lyrics, please? I'm gonna go. I have to go to the bathroom, but after this chapter. Not 10 USD per month. It's like $1 per month with a discount code PEAK, by the way. Thank you for joining Discord, guys. This swap person and Amon. Amon, that's a character from Legend of Korra, right? Let's keep reading. What is happening with the... Through the window... Through the window, Shaw silently observed the red moon setting in the west. The gradual sinking of the moon continued and a faint light glowed from the east, dyeing the horizon golden. At that moment, there was a commotion inside the apartment. Soon, the sound of footsteps approached his door. Melissa! Melissa is awake. She really is as punctual as always. Shaw smiled. To the client's memory, seeing Melissa made him feel as though she was really his young sister. However, I do not have a young sister. He immediately contracted himself. Like, it's so fucking sad that Klein basically accepted Melissa and Benson as his own family, and then he had to say goodbye to them. You know what I mean? Melissa was different from Benson and Klein. Her rudimentary education was not completed at the Sunday school classes offered by the Church of Nevernight. When she reached schooling age, the Lowen Kingdom had enacted the basic education law. Why? A primary and secondary education committee was established. Oh, W. That's good, actually. And was especially provided with funding, increasing the kingdom's investment into education. In less than 3 years, under the premise that numerous church schools would be incorporated, many public primary schools were established to strictly maintain the principle of religious neutrality. This was to prevent education from involving itself in the conflicts between Lord of Storms, Evernight Goddess, and the God of Steam and Machinery. W, by the way. That's really good. Compared to Sunday school that only cost a copper penny a week. A public... Oh, really? So cheap? Public primary school cost 3 pence a week. That's contradictory. How can a public school cost money? Public schools are funded by taxes. At least it's like dirt cheap, so thank God for that. Appeared rather expensive. However, the former only provided education every Sunday, whereas the latter provided 6 days of classes a week. Yeah, that's a lot. In conclusion, the price was so low that it was almost free. Melissa was different from the most girls. From a young age, she enjoyed things like gears, springs, and bearings. Her ambition was to be a steam mechanic. Let's go, Melissa. It's industrial Britain. I see. Okay, makes sense. Public is not public. Search it up. Public is not public? That's a contradiction. Public is paid. No, public is not paid. Private is paid. Public means public, not free. Am I just retarded? Am I dumb? Am I dumb? I'm dumb. Melissa was different from most girls, yeah. Having suffered from a lack of culture, Benson, who knew the importance of education, supported his sister's dreams, just like how he supported Klein's university education. Again, Benson, massive W, dude. After all, Tingen's technical school was only considered secondary education. There was no need for her to attend language school or public school for more knowledge. Okay. I'm going to university next year. It's free. It's public university. I'm gonna get paid in stipend to go to university at 26 years old. In middle school, high school, I went for free. Education is free. Healthcare is free. Americans are just fucked, guys. What is this username? Doesn't work, man. Username is British. What will you study? I don't know yet. I don't know, I'll decide. Something in engineering. I live in Europe too, man. It's in the country? I guess so. Anyway. Music is too loud. When you still in the bed, you don't where I'm from. What are you guys doing in like Western Europe? Public school should be free. What chapter is this? What chapter is this? Chapter 3. Thank you for asking. It's on top right, by the way. Paying for public schools is... I don't know, okay. Let's move on. I'm from Estonia. Anyway. I don't know how to add background. I'm stalling, I'm sorry guys. No, that's not right. What the fuck did I just do, guys? Okay, Sen, shut the fuck up. Do not say that. That's crazy. One second, guys. Is this better? Can you see it better now? It is a bit of a overkill, I agree, guys. Sorry for stalling, by the way. Black it is. Okay. Having suffered from... yeah. In July last year, 15-year-old Melissa... 15-year-old, by the way, Sen. I might ban you. In July last year, 15-year-old Melissa passed her entrance examination and fulfilled her dreams of becoming a student of the Tingen's Technical School Steam and Machinery Department. I forgot to breathe there. Good job, Melissa. As such, her weekly school fees raised to 9 pence. Ooh. Meanwhile, Benson's company was affected by the situation in the southern continent. There was a drastic drop both in profit and business transactions. More than a third of the employees were retrenched. Holy shit, laid off? order to keep his job and maintain their livelihood, Benson could only accept more arduous tasks. He deserves better, man. He deserves so much better, guys. Oh my god. Benson is studying though, right? We saw in donghua. He's gonna become an accountant or something. Good luck, Benson. I'm gonna have an academic comeback like next year as well. He had to work overtime more frequently or head to places with harsh environments. That was when he was occupied with the past few years. What he was occupied with, okay. He was not declined, did not think of helping share his eldest brother's burden, but being a commoner, having been admitted into an average language school, he felt strong sense of inadequacy when he enrolled into university. Yeah. For example, as the origin of all languages in northern continent, the ancient language of Vesak was something all the children of nobles and of the wealthy class would learn from a young age. Oh, so he was behind. I remember Anini was talking about this. In contrast, he only made first contact with it in university. He faced many similar aspects during his school's career. Klein nearly gave his all and often stayed up late into the night and woke up early before, barely managing to catch up to the others, eventually allowing him to graduate with average results. Yeah, he was literally behind everyone because there are a lot of like rich kids who learned that language before university. So that's why also Klein couldn't work alongside with Benson, you know? Sen is giving spoilers. I knew he was a weirdo, man. Memories regarding his elder brother and younger sister remained active in Shou's mind until he turned the doorknob open. Only then did he jolt awake and remember that he held a revolver in his hand. This was a semi-regular item. It will scare children. Also, there's still the wound in my head. With Melissa arriving at any moment, Shou pressed onto his temple and hurriedly pulled open a desk drawer and drew his revolver in before slamming it close. What happened? Melissa looked over curiously when she heard the commotion. She was still in the prime of her youth. Even though she didn't have much nutritious food to eat, making her thin and slightly pale, her skin remained lustrous as it excluded the vibes of a young girl. The vibes of a young girl. Damn. When Shou saw his sister's brown eyes look over, he forcibly composed himself and picked up an item beside his hand before calmly closing the drawer to conceal the existence of the revolver. He placed his other hand on the temple, the texture confirming that his wound had already healed. Good! Holy shit! Chapter 3, the wound has healed in Chapter 3, guys. Why is the chat broken? Oh, you guys are just not messaging, okay. I was like, why is my chat not moving? Took out a silver wine leaf pocket to watch and press the top gently, causing it to cover to flip open. It was a picture of the siblings' father. Aww. It was the most valuable item the Imperial Army sergeant left behind. But being a second-hand item, it would often malfunction from time to time. In recent years, even though he had gotten a watchmate to fix it, it had embarrassed Benson who enjoyed bringing it with him, elevate his status many a time. It was thrown away back at home in the end. Wait, in the donghua there was no picture in the watch. But here, there is a picture in the watch. What did I study? I'm going next year to study, man. I'm going to university at 26-year-old. I took a gap year after high school. That gap year turned into 6 years of gap year, by the way. I took 6 gap years. Unk still got it, shut the fuck up. What major? I don't know yet, man. Something to do with engineering. It had to be said that perhaps Melissa did have talent in machinery. After grasping the principles behind the watch, she borrowed the tools from her technical school to fiddle with her pocket watch. Recently, she even claimed to have fixed it. Chemical engineering? No, I don't think so. Shaw looked at the watch open cover and saw that the second hand was not moving. Subconsciously twisted the top dial to wind the pocket watch. However, come on Melissa, fix it for us. However, despite winding it a few times, he did not hear the sound of taut springs. The second hand remained motionless. It looks like it's broken again. He looked at his sister while trying to find a topic of conversation. Melissa shot him an expressionless glance and briskly walked over to take the pocket watch away. That's funny. She stood in her spot and pulled up the buttons sitting atop of the pocket watch. With a few simple turns, the tick-tocking of the second hand sounded. Isn't pulling the button up usually meant to adjust the time? Xiao Mingrui's expression immediately turned blank. At that moment, a bell chimed from a faraway cathedral. It chimed 6 times, sounding distant and ethereal. Melissa tilted her head to listen to it and pulled the button up once again. Following that, she turned this. Oh, because the clock, the bells signify time, right? What song is this? It's from this. It's okay now, she said without emotion. She then pressed the top button and handed the pocket watch back to Shaw. Okay, I see. Shaw returned the smile politely in embarrassment. Melissa gave her older brother a piercing stare before turning to walk to the cupboard. She took her toiletries and towel before opening the door to leave. She headed for the public bathroom. Why did her expression have a look of disparagement and resignation? I think it's nothing to do with you, Klein. Is it the look of love and concern for it? Is it the love and concern for retarded brother? I feel dirty saying the word retarded, guys. Shaw lowered his head and chuckled. He closed the pocket watch cover with a click before opening it again. He repeated the action as his idle thoughts focused on a question. Oh yes, Klein committed suicide without a silencer. Well, Melissa didn't hear that, right? Well, I'll consider it a suicide for now. His suicide should have caused quite a commotion, yet Melissa, who was just a wall away, did not... Why is that? Did not notice it at all. Was she sleeping too soundly, or is Klein's suicide shrouded in mystery to begin with? Click, the pocket watch opened. Clank, the pocket watch closed. Melissa returned from washing up and saw her brother's conscious act of constantly opening and closing the pocket watch. Soundproof suicide? No, this is not a coincidence. I'm gonna tell you why. Because his suicide and transmigration has to do with the grey fog. It's nothing to do with Ints. That's why it's not a coincidence. Right? Also the C word. No, not the C word. Click, clack. Her case was once again glazed with exacerbation. She said with a sweet voice, Klein, take out all the remaining bread. Remember to buy fresh ones. Today there's meat and peas stew. Yes, meat and peas! Let's go, we're eating good today. Your interview is soon. I'll make a mutton stewed with peas. Damn. What a good sister. As she spoke, she moved the stove out from a corner. With some charcoal, she boiled a pot of hot water. Before the water boiled, she opened the cupboard's lowest drawer and took out what seemed like a treasure. A can of imperial tea leaves. She drew about 10 leaves into the pot and pretended it was real tea. Melissa poured 2 big cups of tea as she shared 2 pieces of rye bread with Shaw over tea. I love rye bread. There's no sawdust of excessive gluten mixed in, but it's unappetizing. Xiao Mingrui still felt weak and was storming. He forced himself to swallow the bread with the tea while complaining inwardly. Melissa finished eating a few minutes later. After she adjusted her black hair that reached down to her waist, she looked at Shaw and said, remember to buy fresh bread. All we need is 8 pounds. The weather is not, so the bread will easily spoil. Also buy the mutton and peas. Remember to buy them. Indeed, she was showing concern for her brother. She even had to repeat emphasized it another time. Shaw Shaw nodded with a smile. Alright. Oh, that's cute. Okay, we're reading Ku today. We're reading some meat and peas. Let's go. Alright. The under people? Let's go, guys. Thank you. Regarding the Lowlands Kingdom's pound, showing Rui matched Clown's muscle memory with his. He believed was close to half kilogram of what he was accustomed to. Isn't half kilogram a pound anyway? Do you know the American pounds? I guess the UK has it too, but isn't 1 pound like 480 grams? Or something like that? Interesting. Think what the follows, guys. Melissa did not say anything further. She stood up and tidied the area. After packing away the last bit of bread for lunch, she put on a tattered wheel cap that looks like that their mother left behind. Picked up a self-sewn bag used to carry her books and stationery and prepared to leave. It was not Sunday, so she had an entire day of classes to attend. Nice. Walking from their apartment to Tingel's technical school took about 50 minutes. Wow, okay. What's call? Freedom call. Oh. I don't know what you're saying, dude. 50 minutes is crazy, by the way. The public horse carriage cost a penny a kilometer. Or like taxis. A limit to 4 pence in the city and 6 pence in city outskirts. In order to save money, Melissa would leave behind ahead of time and walk to school. 50 minutes is a lot, by the way. Oh, like an eagle screech. Ah, I see. Like, I know what you mean, by the way. Moments after she opened the main door, she paused in her footsteps and turned her body halfway, saying, Klein, don't buy too much mutton or peas. Benson might come back on Sunday. Oh, and remember, we only need 8 pounds of bread. Alright, sure thing, answered Shaw exasperately. Simultaneously, he repeated the word Sunday a few times in his head. Why? In the northern continent, a year was simply split into 12 months. Every year there were 366 days. Okay. Wait, in China though, they have a different calendar, right? A lot of things are like a real world, right? 365 or 366. That means, because there's an or, that means also the leap year exists, right? With February having 28 days in this world. Interesting. The splitting of months was a result of astronomical observations. It made Shaw suspect whether he was in a parallel world. As for the splitting of days, it was a result of religion. This was because the northern continent had 7 orthodox gods. Okay. The eternal blazing sun, the lord of storms, the god of knowledge and wisdom, the evernight goddess, Earth Mother, the god of combat, and the god of steam and machinery. Watching his sister close the door and leave Shaw suddenly sighed. Soon, his thoughts focused on the lock enchantment ritual. Sorry, I really wish to return home. Damn. Some countries have different calendars. Yeah, like in the Arab world as well. Anyway, interesting chapter, guys. A lot of info here for the first time. We know from the anime already and also from Neil's classes and from Ani News. So not much new, but he is saying that it made Shaw suspect whether he was in a parallel world. Remember the world map in Neil's class? The part where it was covered in storms and chaos that looked like Europe a little bit, right? So I wonder if it's just influenced or is there something deeper going on. Anyway, next chapter, Divination. Chapter 4. Okay. I like this song, guys. Divination. I'll try the luck tune. It's doing the luck ritual and it's gonna go to the Grey Folk for the first time, I think. What's up, Chadito? Returning to his chair, he heard faraway cathedral bells chime again. It continued 7 times. So, if it's 7 times, does that mean it's 7 a.m.? Will you get the stream up after you're done? I'll upload the video later. I have to delete the streams because of the book, right? I'm gonna a little bit filter it. But Patreon will be ahead. But next week, I'll upload the first reaction. It continued 7 times before Shaw slowly stood up. He went up front to the cupboard and took up his clothes. It's interesting. He transmigrated in his sleep, and he woke up as Klein also in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? A black vest with a matching suit, trousers that clung tightly to his legs, a half-top hat, and his faint scholarly air made Shaw feel like he was watching an English drama set in the Victorian era. That's funny. Suddenly muttered softly as he shook his head with a wry smile. I'm not going for an interview. All I'm doing is buying some ingredients to prepare my luck enchantment ritual. Klein was so concerned about his impending interview that it became instinct when he was not focused enough. He habitually wore his only decent set of clothing. After taking a breath, Shaw took off his suit and vest, switching to a brownish yellow coat. He also changed to a felt hat with a rounded edge of the same color. With his outfit done, he walked to the side of the bed and lifted the square cushion. He reached his hand into an inconspicuous hole beneath and rummaged around before finding an intermediate layer. Okay. When he retracted his right hand, there was a roll of notes in his palm. There were about 8 notes with faded dark green colors. These were all savings spent. Aww. These were all savings spent at the moment. It even included the living conditions for the next 3 days. 2 of them were 5 solid notes, and the remaining were 1 solid notes. In the kingdom's current system, solid was ranked second. It originated from ancient silver coins. 1 solid was equivalent to 12 copper pence. Yep, they had denominations of 1 and 5 solid. Off the top of the current system was the gold pound. They were also paper-based, but were guaranteed by a golden peg directly. Baked. A gold pound was equivalent to 20 solid. They had the denominations of 1, 5, and 10 gold pounds. Was it the center of the novel? I don't know. I don't think so. I know, Lucia. I'm gonna try to figure... The first stream is scuffed. I'm gonna try to figure the... for the next time, I'll try to center it, I guess. I thought the grand system was cold. Yep. Shaw spread a note and caught a whiff of the faint, unique ink. This was smell of money. Perhaps a result of Klein's memory fragments or his constant desire for money. Shaw mingrely felt like he had instantly fallen in love with these notes. Look, the designs are so beautiful. It makes the stern and old-fashioned George III and his new mustache appear especially adorable. That's crazy. Look, the watermark that can be seen when the note is placed against sunlight is so alluring. The exquisite design for the anti-counterfeit label makes it completely different from those fake fancy schlocks. Damn, bro is into money. I like that. Smell of money. Money. Shaw admired it for nearly a minute before pulling out 2 1-solid notes. He then rolled up the remaining notes and stuffed them back into the cushion concealed layer. After arranging and flattening the cloth around the hole, Shaw folded the 2 notes he had taken out neatly and placed them into the left pocket of his brownish yellow jacket. He separated the notes from the few pence he had in his trouser pocket. With all of this done, he placed the key into his right pocket and brought the dark brownish paper bag along with him and quickly walked toward the door. His shuffling footsteps slowed down from the brisk pace until it eventually stopped. Shaw stood by the door and was unsure when he had already begun to frown. Okay. Klein's suicide was fraught with peculiarities. Would they encounter any accidents if it were just like that? Wait, now that I think about it, Klein's suicide was directly involved with the quill, right? Yeah, and then Ince was mad that, oh, why is he alive? Am I getting that right? It was like, what the fuck happened? So him getting to the grey fog and transmigrating wasn't because of the quill, because of Ince, but him killing himself was. So there is a coincidence still. There is the C word, right? Klein's suicide was fraught, yeah. After some deep thought, Shaw returned to his desk and pulled open the drawer. He then took off the shimmering brass revolver. This was the only defensive weapon he could think of, and it was only a weapon with sufficient power. Yeah, okay, nice. That was, thank you for clearing that up. Although he had never practiced shooting, just pulling a revolver out of would definitely taunt anyone. That's why I think the silent suicide is coincidence. Yeah, true. I think so too, actually, yeah. He cursed the revolver's hold gold medal before stuffing his revolver into the pocket where his notes were. He clasped the money in his palm as his fingers pressed under the gun's handle. It was perfectly concealed. Feeling secure, he knew a little of everything, suddenly had a worry. Would I end up misfiring? Oh my god, imagine. Okay, Sonny, see ya. Imagine if he shoots his foot on accident. Will I end up misfiring? Being deluged with such a thought, Shaw quickly thought of a solution. He drew the revolver and released the cylinder. He then aligned the empty chamber, which was a result of the suicide, along the gun's hammer before closing it. Kinda making like a safety net for it, right? That's smart. This way, even if there was a misfire, he will discharge an empty round. Wow! He cooked! After stuffing his revolver back into the pocket, Shaw kept his left hand in there. He pressed down on his hat with his right hand and pulled open the door before leaving. The corridor during the day remained dim as limited sunlight shone in form of the window, situated at the end of the corridor. Shaw quickly went down the stairs and left the apartment before taking in the brilliance and warmth of the sun. It's fully on morning now. Lucy, I'm just subscribed. Weren't you subscribed already? What happened? Thank you though. You weren't subscribed? What? Although it was almost July, it was still considered the middle of summer. Oh, you subscribed on YouTube. I see. I'm sorry. However, Tingen was situated north of the Loan Kingdom, so it had unique climate characteristics. The highest annual temperature was not even 30 degrees on Earth, with even cooler mornings. Wow. Okay. Interesting. The streets were awash with filthy water and strewn junk. From Glein's memories, this was not a rare sight in low-income communities. Even if there were sewers, after all, there were just too many people and people need to survive. I hear clown music. Imagine if it happened when he was in the center, by the way. Holy shit! Imagine the timing if it was in the center place and the clown came up to him, you know what I mean? Come and try out delicious roasted fish, hot and fresh oyster soup, drink a bowl in the morning and feel created all day. Fresh fish from the port for just 5 pence a piece. Muffins and eel soup make the perfect combination. Conch, conch, conch. Vegetables freshly plucked from the farms outside the city. Cheap and fresh. The mobile hawkers who sold vegetables, fruits and hot food shouted along the streets as they beckoned the rushing pedestrians. Some of them would stop and carefully compare before purchasing. Others would impatiently wave their hands as they had yet to find work for the day. I see. Shaw took in a whiff of the air that mixed both noxious and fragrant aromas. As he clenched the revolver tightly in his left hand, he held the notes tight. He pressed down on his hat with his right hand while passing through the busy street, slouching a little. Ow, he's feeling awkward because of the revolver. There was bound to be thieves in populated areas. Furthermore, the street had no lack of poor citizens who were working part-time after losing their previous jobs. There were also starving children. Oh gosh, they were exploited by adults to their bidding. By the way, if a child steals bread or any like vegetable or anything, if you don't look the other way, you're kinda fucked in the head, by the way. You know what I mean? He proceeded to forward until he reached a point where the crowdedness around him restored to normal. He straightened his back and raised his head to look down the street. He's scared for his love money. There was a vagrant accordionist bursting. The melody was sometimes pleasant, sometimes fervent. Oh gosh. Besides him were several children in ragged clothes with swallow complexions due to malnutrition. Dude, we did not see the depth of this poverty in the donghua, right? We didn't see this level of poorness, right? Poverty. Exactly, username. Beside him were several children. Yeah, they listened to the music and moved to the beat, dancing self-made choreographies. Their faces were filled with joy as though they were a prince or an angel. That's sweet, dude. A deadpan woman passed by. Her skirt was dirty and her skin was tall. Gosh, her gaze appeared tall and sluggish. Only when she looked at the bunch of children did a faint glow flash. It was as though she had been herself from 3 decades ago. Oh gosh. Oh god. Gosh. Jeez. Shaw overtook her and turned into another street before stopping at Smirin Bakery. The owner of the bakery was a 70-plus-year-old granny named Wendy. Her hair was completely grayish white. She always wore a genial smile. From the beginning of Klein's memory, she had been here selling bread and pastries. Damn, that's cute. On the Dingens biscuits and lemon cake she bakes are very delicious. Shaw gulped a mouthful of saliva and smiled. Mrs. Smirin, 8 pounds of rye bread. Oh dear, Klein. Oh dear, Klein. Where's pension? Is she not back? Wendy asked smilingly. In a few more days, answered Shaw vaguely. Wendy took the rye bread. She sighed. He sure is a hard-working lad. He will have a good wife. Damn, I wish. I mean, why did I say that? I hope so. I mean, sure. The music is really dramatic. What? What did she say? Sorry. Upon saying this, the corners of her lips curled up as she said playfully, all is good now. You have already graduated. You are... Wait. All is good now. You have already graduated. You are a history graduate of our core university. Oh, you will soon be able to earn money. You should not be staying in an apartment you are currently living in. At the very least, you should have a bathroom you can call your own. Sorry, guys. It's just the fucking OST, man. I'm so sorry. What's happening? Mr. Smirin, you seem to be young and energetic woman today. Reese. All Shaw could do was respond with a dry smile. If Klein were to successfully pass his interview and become a lecturer at Klein University, it was true that his family would immediately be pushed up to higher socio-economic status. In his memory fragments, he had once fantasized about renting a bungalow in the suburbs. There will be 5 or 6 rooms, 2 bathrooms, a huge balcony upstairs, 2 rooms in the dining room, a living room, a kitchen, a bathroom, and the underground storage room from the first floor. Yeah, Dynamine. If anyone can make me a playlist, join my Discord. So, you know, you can send music there. This was not a wishful dream. Even a lecturer on probation at Dingens University would have a weekly salary of 2 gold pounds. After the probationary period, the salary will be raised to 3 gold pounds. And then solely. Ooh, that's good actually. Holy shit. Weekly salary of 2 gold pounds. He was getting 6 pounds at Nighthawks, right? I want the music to be different every stream. Or like, at least, like, to have some variety, you know? Ordinary workers at the factory did not even get a pound, or at least a little more. Oh, wow. And a rent for a bungalow was a 19 solly to 1 pound and 18 solly. Damn. That's still a very good rent price, by the way. I will continue beyond it. So, follow and subscribe. This is the difference between... I'm really loving reading, by the way. This is the difference between earning 3 or 4,000 yuan and earning 14 or 15,000 yuan a month. Damn. Shaw mumbled to himself. However, all of this was under the premise that he passed either the Dingen University or Backland University interviews. Good luck, man. There were not many other opportunities. People without any connections were not able to get recommendations to become a public servant. Yeah, true. That's sad, yeah. I mean, it's still the case, right? You really need connections in the real world. Who studied history were more limited in job opportunities. There was not much demand for a private consultant from the aristocrats, banks, or industrial magnates. Why? Do not people wanna learn history? I'm guessing it's the same today, right? I'm gonna sneeze, guys. Oh god. Taking into account that the knowledge client grasp was fragmented and incomplete, Joe Mingri felt awkward and guilty towards Miss Myron's expectations of him. No, I have... Wait, what voice did I give her? Oh, I have always been this young, answered Wendy humorously. As she spoke, she packed the 16 rye bread she had weighed into the brown paper bag. I absolutely love rye bread, by the way. Do you guys eat rye bread? She stretched out her right hand and said, 9 pence. Every rye bread weighed about half a pound. As difference were inevitable. 9 pence? Oh wait, 9 pence? Wasn't it 11 pence 2 days ago? Shaw asked subconsciously. It cost 15 pence the month before the previous month. Wait, it's going down in price! Maybe read normally? Should I voice act or read normally? Maybe we should poll that. I'm really bad at voice acting, but I'll try. It cost 15 pence. You have to thank the people. You have to thank the people who have protested on the streets for the repeal of the Grain Act, said Wendy as she shrugged. If you want, okay, I'll try. So protesting works, guys. Protesting works. Go protest. Shaw Mingri nodded in vaguely acknowledgement. Klein's memories regarding this were incomplete. All he remembered was that a core tenet of the Grain Act was to protect the price of domestic agriculture products. Oh. So to protect the prices, but they repelled the Grain Act. Spotify, then I have to buy Spotify Premium because ads are gonna go there. Let's read about the Bread Act. Once the prices rose to a level, grain imports from southern nations like Feina, Potter, Massin, Lensburg were stopped. Why will people protest the act? Good question. Just use adblock? Without saying much, Shaw afraid he will end up pulling out the revolver. What? Therefore, he took out his notes and... Oh, on accident. Took out his notes and handed one of them over to Mrs. Mirren. He was I'm guessing that the act will higher the prices so they can afford food. Because otherwise they will stop the imports. Yeah, makes sense, guys. Makes sense. If you don't stop the imports, there's more availability on the bread, and the price becomes cheaper. Good that people were protesting that. It was given 3 copper pence in change, stuffing them into trousers pocket. He took the paper bag contained with bread and headed to the lettuce and meat market across the street. He was working hard for the mutton stew with peas his sister had exhorted. There's a municipal square at the intersection of Iron Cross Street and Daffodil Street. Many tents were erected. Many tents were erected there. And clowns dressed in odd and funny attires were distributing flyers. Wait. Where is it? Fuck, I can't find it. I want to put the clown music, guys, when they play on the thing. It's fine. There's a municipal square, yeah. There's a circus performance tomorrow night. Shaw glanced at the flyers in the hands of others as he read their contents under his breath. Melissa will definitely like it. However, how much is the entrance fee? With that thought, Shaw went closer. Just as he was about to ask a clown with a red and yellow painted face, a hoarse woman voice sounded from beside him. Oh, is this a divinator, I guess? That's a divination woman, I guess. Would you like to try a divination? Shaw subsequently turned his head and saw a woman wearing a pointed hat and long black dress standing in front of the short tent. Her face was smeared with a red and yellow paint, and her eyes were a profound grayish blue. Apparently she was like a zookeeper, but she was like pretending to do divination. Now, I don't think this is a coincidence, because why would this be a coincidence? Why would Ince and the Quill benefit from this? And basically, Ince. Why would Ince benefit from this? So this is not the C word. The lady in episode 1 had with the makeup. She was a beast tamer. Yeah, not a zookeeper. But she was pretending to be like the divinator. Her waist was smeared with red and yellow paint, yeah. No, Shaw Minkroy shook his head in response. He did not have the spare cash for divination. The woman laughed and said, haha, my tarot okay, I'm not gonna give a voice. I can't do woman voices. My tarot should I? No. My tarot divination is very accurate. Tarot, Shaw was instantly dumbfounded. This pronunciation was almost identical to the tarot cards on Earth. Almost identical? Almost? And tarot cards from Earth were a set of cards used for divination. They just had graphics that represented different omens. I mean, Roselle introduced those, right? We're gonna look at Arc at the end of the streams. You can already send them in stream chat if you want. Some art and illustrations. But I feel like there's a fucking knut. You know what a knut is? In autumn, knut scum. It's so annoying. The C word is... No, it's a slur. Coincidence. I just slurred. A tarot cards from Earth were as at Wait, he suddenly recalled the origins of tarot divination in this world. It did not originate from the 7 Orthodox gods, nor was it an ancient legacy. Instead, it was created by the Intis Republic consul of that era, Rosell Gustav, more than 170 years ago. This Mr. Rosell invented the steam engine, improved the sailing boat, overthrew the Intis kingdom's imperial rule, and was recognized by the god of craftsmanship. He also became the first consul of the Intis Republic. He's kinda like Napoleon. Little bit. Is it a slur? Coincidence. I slurred. Either he invaded other nations. Yeah, he's kinda like Napoleon. And placed Lemberg and other nations under his protection. Basically colonialism, right? He made the Loman Kingdom, Feina Potter, Feysak Empire, and other powerful northern continent nations bow down to the Intis Republic. Holy Kikachad! Following that, the Republic was then changed to an empire, and he became a self-proclaimed Emperor Caesar. Holy shit! What the fuck? Sorry, guys. It was during Roselle's rule that the Church of Craftsmanship received its first public holy revelation. Since the 5th epoch, ever since the god of craftsmanship was changed to the god of steam and machinery. Sorry for not censoring that word, yeah. Ugh, French. Ugh. Rosell also invented tarot divination. He also established the contemporary system of paper-based cards and their playstyles. There are many familiar styles that Shaw was familiar with, such as Upgrade, Fighting the Landlord, Texas, Poker, and Quint. Poker? Fighting the Landlord. That's the most Chinese card. That's the most communist Chinese card game name ever, by the way. Fighting the Landlord. I love poker. Genghis Khan. Genghis. What's up, Felix? In addition, that marine fleets he sent out discovered a sea route that led to the southern continent through the stormy and turbulent seas. This also began the era of colonialism. Damn. Unfortunately, he was betrayed in his old age. Betrayed in his old age by who? Saratul! In the year 1198. Right now it's 1137? No, it's 1347, right? Wait, 1328? Is it 1328 right now? Of the fifth epoch, he was assassinated by a combined force of the Church of the Eternal Blazing Sun. No, the former Intis royal family. The Sauron family? 1349. Okay. Yeah, thank you. I don't know why I said 1347. The Sauron family and other aristocrats eventually died in the White Maple Palace. Sauron family. That's like fucking not Lord of the Mysteries. That's like what's he called again? Lord of the Rings, dude. The history calls the general knowledge only made him baseball. Yeah. Showrun. Shut up. How do you pronounce that? Sauron? Sauron? Could this be a transmigration senior? With this in mind, Shaw was intrigued to see what tarot cards looked like. Therefore, he nodded at the pointy hat woman with the painted face and said, "If the price is reasonable, I'll give it a try." The woman immediately said with a laugh, "Sir, you're the first one here. Sir, you're the first one here today, so it's on the house." Oof. Okay, that was cool. Guys, I need to go bathroom. So I'll be right back. And then we're going to talk about chapter 4, and then we're going to read about chapter 5, okay? So be right back. Alpha minute in donghua, yep. Yo. Song is epic again. Yep. Anyway. Thank you for the follows, guys. Thank you so much. Let's keep reading. Oh, the last chapter, by the way, I feel like... Welcome back, thank you. I feel like the... Thank you for coming to the server, by the way. I feel like the conversation between the grandmother, Wendy, and Klein was a lot longer than in the anime. Wait, where is playlist? Where is any... Okay. Let's do this now. Let's switch it up. And we also learned about the betrayal of Gustav Rosell as well. Apparently they had enough of him and assassinated him. I wonder if Saratul had anything to do with it. Dude, I'm so like locked on Saratul. Maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe I'm thinking too much into Saratul, man. 1 second. So, by the way, I'll upload the VOD if you are new here. I'll upload the VOD to YouTube, but I will always upload it first to Patreon. So I made a new tier, because only some of you only watch the novel reactions, right? So I'll upload it first on Patreon without the filter. So like this. On YouTube there might be a small like blur, right? To avoid copyright. And if you use the code PEAK, you get 70% of your first month or year. So yeah, you guys wanna do that. I recently became unemployed, so you can keep me unemployed when you do that. Thank you. You did not use Peak? Oh my god. Did you not watch the yesterday's video? You bought it raw? Well, thank you for the extra $2. The code is Peak. You can watch it early. And full length. Anyway. Ritual. Free? Free things cost the most? Free thing cost the most, yeah. It's suspicious, you know what I mean? Shaw silently mumbled and said that he would not purchase any additional services whatsoever. He would firmly refuse them all. If you're really that capable, try divining that I transfer my credit here. With this in mind, so he's not speaking out loud, he's thinking this. This in mind, Shaw followed behind the woman whose face was painted red and yellow, stooping low to enter the low tent. This is like she's part of a circus, right? This is like a divinator in a circus, basically. But she actually is a beast tamer. I remember that from the donghua. With this in mind, Shaw followed behind the woman whose face was painted red and yellow, stooping low to enter the low tent. The tent interior was extremely dark, illuminated only by several beams of light that managed to seep inside. A table covered with the paper cards could be made out faintly in the low illumination. The woman with the sharp pointy hat was not affected by this at all. Her long black dress glided as though it was moving over water while she went around the table. She sat on the opposite side of and lit a candle. The dim yellow light flickered, causing the inside of their tent to appear bright and dark at the same time. He initially added a much more mysterious feel. Instantly added a much more mysterious feel to the atmosphere. Shaw sat down quietly, his gaze sweeping over the tarot cards on the table, where he discovered familiar cards like the Magician, the Emperor, the Hanged Man, the Temperance, etc. etc. I was thinking about this. Yesterday we watched the dub reactions live, right? The first 5 episodes. I have a sneaky feeling that that full tarot card is somehow connected to the seer pathway, right? Even though the full card has the sign 0 on it, and sequences go from 1 to 9, I think there's a deeper connection with the tarot cards and the pathways and the sequences. That's what I think. The Emperor, the Magician, the Hanged Man, and Temperance. Would Rosell have been a senior? I wonder if he was also a fellow countryman of mine. Shaw mumbled to himself subconsciously. Before he could finish looking at the opened cards on the table, the woman who claimed to have accurate divination had already reached out her hands to gather all the cards together. She stacked them into a deck and pushed it in front of him. Shuffle the cards first and cut the deck, the circus fortune teller said in a muted voice. Me? Shuffle? Show asked reflectively. I forgot to voice it, I'm sorry. The yellow and red paint on the fortune teller's face curled together as she revealed a slight smile, saying, Of course, everyone's destiny can only be unraveled by themselves. I only serve as a reader of it. Shaw immediately questioned her warily. This reading does not require additional fees, right? As a keyboard folklorist, I already seen too many of such tricks. I can see through your tricks, moment. The fortune teller was visibly taken back, finally saying moffedly, It's free. Shaw relieved stuffed the revolver further back into his pocket. He was ready to shoot. Thereafter, he calmly reached out his two hands to shuffle and got the deck skillfully. It's done. It's done. It's done. He placed the already shuffled tarot cards in the middle of the table. The fortune teller clasped the cards with both of her hands and carefully looked at cards for a while. Then she suddenly opened her mouth and said, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask, but what do you like to ask about? Back when he was wooing his first love. Wooing? Back when he was wooing his first love. What's a wooing? It's done? Oh my god, it's done! Is wooing... Oh. I was thinking Sims, right? Do you know what woo is in Sims? Isn't wooing sex? He was sexing his girlfriend? Where was I? I forgot. Where was I? Where is wooing? Oh, back when he was wooing... Woohoo, oh yeah. Trying to impress her court. Ah, okay. When he was wooing his first love, Shaw had also done researching of tarot cards. Because probably his girlfriend? I don't know, or boyfriend? Was into tarot cards, right? Woo? Yeah. Past, present, and future. This was type of divination as part of tarot card interpretation. These cards, when opened, sequenced symbolized one's past, present, and future. We only opened the present one. I wanna see the past and future so bad, man. The fortune teller nodded first, then curled her lips to reveal a smile and said, Then please, reshuffle the deck. You can only truly get the cards you want if you know what you would like to ask about. Were you fooling me just now? Do you have to be this petty? Did I only ask a few times if this would be a free service? Shaw McCree's cheeks twitched a little. He took a deep breath and took the tarot deck back to reshuffle and cut it. There won't be any problems this time, right? He placed the already cut deck back on the table. Okay, I voiced him as the woman. Anyway, no problem. No problem. The fortune teller reached out her fingers and picked a card on top of the deck. Then she placed it on the left side of Shaw. Her voice was going lower and lower as she spoke. This card symbolizes your past. This card symbolizes your present. The fortune teller placed the second card right in front of Shaw. Then she picked the third card and put it on the right side of Shaw. This card symbolizes the future. Alright, which card would you like to see first? The fortune teller raised her head up after completing her placement of the cards and gazed deeply at Shaw with her grayish blue eyes. I'll have a look at the present first, Shaw said after giving it some thought. The fortune teller nodded slowly and flipped over the tarot card that was directly in front of Shaw. A colorfully dressed character was depicted on this card, wearing splendid headgear with a stick over his shoulder. There was a bindle hanging on the end of a stick, and a puppy was following behind him. It was numbered 0. A puppy as well, you say? The Fool. Oh, chills. The Fool. The fortune teller lightly read the name of the card with her grayish blue eyes, fixated on Shaw. The Fool, the 0, card of tarot, a start, a fresh beginning with all kinds of possibilities. Shaw was not even considered an amateur enthusiast of tarot, so he could only make a rough interpretation based on his own impressions of tarot. Damn. Oh, the Fool card in the chat. That's like a joker, but yeah. Also, isn't there like birds on the Fool card? I remember from the donghua there were like 3 or 4 birds like flying behind the Fool, right? I love this song. Just as the fortune teller was about to say something, the cloth curtains of the tent were suddenly lifted open. No, we're not gonna see the past and future. I'm sad. I wonder what they were, man. I seriously wonder. The dumb, the baka. I can't wait to hear baka-sama. The ray of sunlight that shone in was so blinding that it caused the back-facing Shaw to instinctively narrow his eyes. Why are you imprisoning me again? It's my job to handle divination for people. The woman's voice growled angrily. Return to your post quickly! You must remember that you're just an animal trainer. Animal trainer? Shaw's eyes had already adapted to the light of now. He saw a similar looking woman who was also wearing a sharp pointy hat and black dress, with her face brilliant in red and yellow as well. The only difference was that she was taller and had slimmer physique. Now, at this point we already saw Leonard in the donghua, and we already saw Regents in the donghua as well. But at this point they have not been mentioned like, oh, there's a shady man in the background. The only difference was that she was taller and had similar physique. The woman who was seated in front of him immediately stood up and said discreetly, "Don't mind this, it's just that I like doing this, but I have to say, my divination and my interpretation can be already accurate sometimes. I'm serious." She spoke and lifted up her dress, hello, to go around from the side of the table before quickly trotting away from the tent. Okay. Sir, would you like me to interpret your cards for you? The real fortune teller looked at Shaw and asked him with a smile. I wonder if this divinator is actually a deeper character we're gonna see in the future, because it's like, it is real. Unless it's a major coincidence again that the Fool was pulled, right? Or, I mean, maybe this event was why Klein chose the Fool in the Grey Fog in the first place, right? Stroming's lips twitched and asked her sincerely, "Is it free?" No. No. The real fortune teller answered, fuck. Klein sheeped out. He should have done this, man. I get it, he's a brokey, dude. I wanted to see, you know, what the past and future would look like. But I do feel like this is the reason why he chose Fool in the Grey Fog. Then forget it. Oh my god. Shaw pulled his hands back and put them into his pockets. He clutched his revolver and money before stooping again to the exit to the tent. Damn, I actually got an animal trainer to be his fortune teller. Was an animal trainer who didn't want to be a fortune teller, not a good clown? Shaw very quickly put this matter behind him. He spent 7 pence on the lettuce and meat market for a pound of not so great mutton. Damn, not so great mutton. Then he also bought some tender brought beans, cabbage, onions, potatoes, and other items. Together with the bread that he brought earlier, spent a total of 25 copper pennies, which converted to stew solely and 1 pence. Okay, there is really not enough to go around for spending 4 pence. Not only had Shaw spent the 2 notes that he had brought with him, also necessary for him to top it up with the penny he had in his pocket. He just sighed and did not think further about it. He hurried back home. The staple food he could now carry out the luck enchantment ritual. Okay. I'm hungry too, man. That's a Chinese meme joke? Okay. Gotcha. After the second floor tenants gradually left, Shaw was still in no hurry to carry out the ritual. Instead, he translated the immortal Lord of Heaven and Earth for blessings and related praise into the ancient Faceag. Okay. So he translated to ancient Faceag. That's actually a big brain play. As well as Loan language. He was intending to try the ritual and again the next day in those local languages if the original incantation did not take effect. So he did not see the clown, he did not see Regents, he did not see Leonard in his first trip. Or maybe wait, he's going back home. Wait, let's keep reading. Maybe I'm saying it too soon. After all, he had to take into consideration the difference between the two worlds. In Rome, you as Romans do. Yeah, true. As for translating it into ancient ritual prayer that used Vedic Hermes language, Shaw had a difficult time competing it to his lack of vocabulary. Oh, his basic knowledge of Hermes. I see. After readying everything, he finally took out the 4 loaves of bright bread. Oh, he's at home. He placed one in the corner where the coal stove was originally, one at the bottom inner side of the dressmaker, one at the top of the cupboard where 2 walls met, and one at the right side of the study table where miscellaneous items were kept. With a deep breath, Shaw came to the center of the room and spent a few minutes to calm himself. Then he took a solemn step forward, then a counterclockwise direction in the shape of a square. When he took the first step, he chanted in a lower whisper, "The immortal Lord of heaven and earth of our blessings." Second step, he sincerely chanted, "The Sky Lord of heaven and earth for blessings." The third step, Shaw prayed out a whisper, "The exalted Prince of heaven and earth for blessings." At the fourth step, he spat out a foul breath and meditated in concentration. The celestial worthy heaven of blessings. Heaven and earth for blessings. When he returned back to the original spot, Shaw closed his eyes and waited his place for an outcome. He had some anticipation in him, some unease, some hope, and some fear. Would they make it back? Was there going to be any effect? Will there be some unexpected situation? Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see if you're gonna meet Audrey and Alger right away or not. The darkness in front of him was tainted with the crimson light of hope. Shaw thoughts were swirling in his head, and his whining and difficult to quell in. It was at this time that he suddenly felt the surrounding air seem to stop, becoming thick and mysterious. Immediately after, a low whisper could be heard beside his ears that sounded at times real. Okay, let's see. At times sharp, at times imaginary, at times alluring, at times maniacal, at times crazy. Jesus Christ. Clay did not understand the murmuring that went on, but Shaw still couldn't help himself from wanting to listen to it and distinguish what he was saying. Shut the fuck up, Saratul. I think it's Saratul though. I don't know, like I'm stuck on this idea because of mix what Sesimir said about a higher sequence beyond there can whisper in your ear. I think it's Saratul, man. Fuck. I'm so, like, I'm dying to find out, man. We have to wait at, like, the end of the chapter, or maybe... Oh, no, actually, we have to wait, like, volume 2 or something. His head was in pain again. It was so painful that it felt like someone had stuck a steel drill rod into his head. He isn't here yet. Ah, you're right. You're right. Okay. You're right. Okay, but then, okay, so you should not have said that, because, like, oh, you shouldn't, like, try to, like, deny my theories, I guess, but you weren't really denying. But then again, what if Saratul manipulated Rosell in the past to regret taking the, full, what's it called? Seer, by the way, in the dub reaction, I made a theory also, I forgot to tell you this, that I think the Seer pathway called the full pathway. If you haven't seen my dub reaction, it's coming out in a few days. So we started calling it the full pathway. Saratul manipulated Rosell to take the Seer, maybe full pathway, and now Klein read those diary notes and chose the Seer pathway, so maybe it can still be Saratul. His head was in pain again. It was so painful it felt like someone had stuck a... Oh wait, where am I? He could no longer bear it, just as mind was going to break. The murmuring of voices faded away and his surroundings became very quiet. The mood was a erratic one. It was not only the mood. Shaw felt his own body going through the same sensations as well. Wait, what? Where was I? Wait, what the fuck? Oh, here. Yeah, Shaw only felt like his head was going to explode. His thoughts were filled with psychedelic colors. He knew that something was wrong and tried to open his eyes, however, he wasn't able to complete such a simple action. His entire body was getting tighter and tighter, and he felt like he could just break apart any time. At this time, a self-mocking thought came up and Shaw through his mind. If you won't die if you didn't court death. What does that even mean? If you wouldn't die, you didn't court death. Wait, that was never said in the donghua. One doesn't lose his place. By the way, how should I release the dub reactions? I watched the first 5 episodes of dub. I made a lot of theories in the dub reactions as well because I noticed a lot of Tarot Club shenanigans going on. It was in donghua? Oh. Dancing with arthritis. He could no longer bear it, it's just his mind was going to break. The murmuring of voices faded away and the surroundings became very quiet. Ooh! Here we go, guys. The mood was erratic one. It was not only the mood, Shaw felt his own body going through the same sensations as well. He tried once more to open his eyes, an extremely easy task this time. A grey fog appeared over his eyes, haziness, vague and endless. God of Death, play close to danger. Oh, okay. Like a waving a loaded gun around recording death. Gotcha, that's actually really useful. That's why I'm live streaming this. What's with this situation? Shaw suddenly looked around him and then lowered his head down to discover what he was floating at the edge of an endless fog. Damn. The fog was flowing like water and was dotted with a lot of crimson stars. Some of them were enormous while others were tiny. There was a sense of them hidden in the deep depths, while others floated over the surface of this water-like fog. Looking at the seemingly holographic sight, Shaw reached out his right hand in half-confused, half-exploring manner to try and touch the crimson star that was seemingly floating on the surface. He was trying to find a way to leave this place. Now, like I said, yesterday, when I was watching the dub live on Twitch, there was like a red, this is talked about here as well, red gemstone that like opened up, right? And then the fog became around. I wonder what the fuck that is, and we're gonna get some more details right now, I guess. Crimson Star, I guess that's what the Crimson Star is. Gay Frong, yeah. Was seemingly floating on the surface. He was trying to find a way to leave this place. When his hand touched the surface of that star, a watermark suddenly appeared from within its body and actually agitated the stars into a crimson burst. Is it like the Big Bang? More gray than novel and galactic. Dude, just like a Big Bang, maybe. Burst, it looked like a dreamlike burning of flames. Shaw got a fright from it. He retracted his right hand in a panic, but accidentally touched yet another crimson star. Crimson, because we know when he touched the red and blue ones, red was Audrey, blue was Alger, but this is before that, right? In turn, Shaw felt his mind empty and his spirit dissipated. Okay, guys. Red Flash, yeah. In the Loan Kingdom's capital, background inside a luxurious-looking villa at the Royal District. What? Oh, it is Audrey. It is Audrey. Audrey Hall. Okay, let's go. Never mind. Few stars touch. Get this man arrested for assaulting this poor star. In the novel, both were crimson. Oh, Alger was okay, yeah. Okay, I see. I don't know why Alger was made blue in the donghua then. Audrey Hall sat in front of the dresser, the markings on it were antiqued, and there was a cracked bronze mirror on the surface. Mirror. Mirror, mirror, awaken. In the name of the Hall family, I command you to awaken. They switched between many different sayings, but there was no reaction from the mirror at all. After more than 10 minutes, she finally chose to get up and pouted her lips in grievance. She said in a soft murmur, Father was indeed lying to me. He always tells me that this mirror was treasure of the Solomon Empire's Black Emperor, and that it was extraordinary item. Okay. Interesting. We know that the secret order has a connection to Solomon family, at least. Her voice trailed off. The bronze mirror, which was rested on the dresser, suddenly glowed with a crimson light that shrouded her completely. In the Sonia Sea, a three-masted sailboat that looked like an obvious relic was navigating through a storm. Oh, the boat. Sailboat. I thought Olger rides on a ship, not on a sailboat. Olger Wilson stood on a deck, his body undulating with the currents at sea, maintaining his balance easily. He wore a robe embroidered with lightning patterns, and in his hand was a quickly shut glass bottle. Bubbles billowed inside the bottle at times. Frost turned into snow at times, and signs of gusting wind could be seen at times. Three-masted boat sounds like a ship to me. Yeah, I know, right? Still short on the coast shark's blood, Alger. Still short on the coast shark's blood, Alger murmured. Then at this moment, a crimson burst appeared in the space between the glass bottle and the surface of his palm. In an instant, it enveloped the surroundings as well. So, he wasn't praying. Audrey was kinda praying, but Alger wasn't praying, right? She said, Mirror, mirror, awaken. In the name of the Hall family, I command you to awaken. So she was kinda praying, but Olga wasn't. Interesting. In the fog of grey mist, Audrey Hall regained her sight. She started reckoning the situation in a state of horror and confusion when she noticed the blurry image of a man on the opposite side of her doing the same as well. Immediately after, the both of them discovered another mystery person standing not far from them who was shrouded in a grey mist. The mysterious person was none other than Shaw Mingrui. He was similarly dumbfounded. Sir, where is this? Audrey and Olga were startled at first, falling silent in the process, then they immediately started speaking in unison. What are you planning on doing? Oh wow, okay. So, Grey Fog is here. Let's fucking go, guys. So, Audrey said, Mirror, mirror, awaken. So, I'm guessing she was talking to the mirror, yeah. And she was transported to the Grey Fog. And then, Olger stood on deck with his body undulating with the currents at sea. His hand was quickly sharp glass bottle. Bubbles billowing inside the bottle at times. Okay. So it was also holding like a glass thing. Mirror is glass, right? Anyway. First meeting. Now, I was talking about this yesterday. There weren't that many people in the stream, but I was talking yesterday when I was doing my dub reaction as well, that the thing I want to see the most from the novel is the Grey Fog meetings. Because people told me on Discord and stuff like that, the most things they missed in donghua and wanted more of was the Grey Fog meetings. So I'm really hyped for that. Also, what I'm looking for is Olger's, Audrey's backstories and their life. I think there's a whole chapter dedicated to Audrey, so I'm excited for that as well. Also, I want to see more of Sika, Royale, and Kenley, but that's gonna come later, right? Anyway. I really enjoyed this chapter again, man. We had the divination going on with the full Tarot card first time mentioned, and also him doing the ritual for the first time. and actually transport to the Grey Fog. So now I think peak starts. Peak already started, but peak continues. So let's go. Oh, Fry not even mentioned? I'm sorry, Fry, dude. I'm sorry, Fry. So I want to do a poll on YouTube. So where's the YouTube chat? We have 110 people here. We're gonna continue in a second. I want to do a poll about the dub. Should I upload all the dub reactions on YouTube? Will you guys watch it or no? As in like one... I think we're gonna do one more chapter and then we're gonna end, because I underestimate how long I'm gonna be yapping for. So we're gonna do a poll if I should upload all 5 episodes of the dub or 1 episode. Because I did make some theories in there. I just wanna see if you guys are gonna watch it or not. Should I post all my reactions to the dub? Wait. How do I question? Would you watch all reactions to the dub, or only interested in 1 episode? Okay, I made the ball. Vote in YouTube chat, please. Because I made some theories that are, I think, because there were not that many people in the stream, especially with tarot cards and the full card. No, in one video, 1 and 2 videos. Probably won't watch since I was at stream. Okay. I just want to see like if it's worth uploading, because I don't want to upload something people don't want to watch. Even though I upload One Piece reactions and people don't watch that, but that's another story. I'm investing. And also I'm really enjoying One Piece as well. Anyway, we're gonna continue in a second here. Let's see how the ball is doing, and then we're gonna continue. Okay, people really want it. How many votes is that? 31. Okay, never mind. I'll upload on Friday. By the way, this is the YouTube schedule for YouTube. It's on my Discord, right? So if you wanna see a YouTube schedule, the first 10 chapters, no, the first 6 chapters I'm streaming today will go up on Sunday. And if you do wanna watch them early, you can at Patreon. But I'll upload the dub reaction on Saturday then. That makes sense, right? Because the anime was airing on Saturday. Okay, boys. Upload season 1 dub. Yeah, but the season 1 dub hasn't finished airing yet. That's the problem, right? I recorded the first 5 episodes yesterday. I can do in 2 videos. I can do the first 5 episodes, and then in a month I'll do the rest 7 episodes or 8 episodes in a separate video. Okay, let's keep watching. Reading, I mean. This is chapter 6 now. Beyonder. The reason why I want to upload them as well is because I was planning on not making any theories, but there were so many details that I noticed on rewatching that I was just yapping and making theories in that video as well, you know? Maybe I can just upload the theories as well. Like, it's mostly my reaction to character voices, but then upload my theories at the end for like 30 minutes or something like that. Anyway. Beyonder. Not only did they speak the name of law and language, they also shared the same crime and tense vibes. Okay, I mean, of course they're tense because they don't know where the fuck they are. Where am I? What do I plan to do here? I would like to know too, calming himself down. Shaw silently repeated the question posed by the two. What left the deepest impression on him were neither the sentences formed by words nor the meanings behind them, but a display of bewilderment, vigilance, panic, and reverence by the couple. But for some baffling reason, two people had been mysteriously dragged into this world, surrounded by a grey fog, as the perpetrator Shaw was already feeling abnormally dumbfounded and startled, let alone the couple who was pulled into this completely passively. Into this mess completely passively. Yeah, Shaw doesn't even know where he is, man. For them, such events and encounters might already be beyond their imaginations, right? Momentarily, Shaw Ming-Rui thought of two options. The first option was feigning victimhood to hide his true identity and in turn to gain considerable amount of trust. He could then take a wait-and-see approach and take advantage of his circumstances. Where necessary, the other option was to maintain his mysterious identity. In the eyes of the couple, he could then affect the subsequent development while gleaning valuable information from them. Okay, it's the first option, feigning victimhood to hide his true identity. I wonder, like, what would have happened if he actually did that? Without the luxury of time deliberately over the situation, he grasped hold of the thought that flashed across his mind. He made an immediate decision to try out a second idea. Okay, exploit the philosophical state of the other two others to gain the greatest advantage for himself. Oh my god, dude. That's the way to go, I swear. After a few seconds of silence in the fog, Shaw chuckled with a low but not heavy tone. He calmly spoke as though he was replying to the polite greetings from the visitors. An attempt? Audrey Hall looked at the mysterious sky veiled in the greyish-white fog. And the only thought was that whatever was happening was absurd, funny, horrifying, and weird. Wow. Yeah, Klein's thinking was cut, by the way. I can see that now. She was at the dressing table inside her bedroom. She was at the dressing table inside her bedroom only moments ago, but just by turning around, she had come to this place that was filled with grey fog. How inconceivable! Audrey took a breath, revealing an impeccable, courageous smile. She asked in a somewhat perturbed way, "Sir, is the attempt over? Might you permit our return?" Olga Wilson had also had the intentions to probe Shaw in a similar fashion, but his rich experience made him stall-liar. State liar. He held back his impulse and took on the role of a silent onlooker. Dude, he was a true spectator back then. He held back his impulse and only took on the role of a silent onlooker. Damn. Shaw looked at the question, looking through the hazy mist. Shaw looked at the questionnaire, looking through the hazy mist. He could roughly see the silhouette of a person in question. It was a tall girl with smooth blonde hair, but her exact countenance could not be seen clearly. He did not rush to reply to the girl's question, but turned around to look at the man. He had messy dark blue hair, as well as a medium stature that was not considered stout. Shaw suddenly realized something. Once he became stronger or had a deeper understanding of the foggy world, perhaps it was possible for him to see through the fog and discern the girl and the man. In this situation, they are the visitors and I am the master. Wow. Damn. He's already got the idea, dude. What chapter are we on? Are you serious? This is 6. It says right here. After changing his mindset, Shaw instantly noticed details that he had neglected earlier on. The girl with the melodious voice and the mature, withdrawn man both looked considerably incorporeal. Tainted by a faint crimson red, they resembled a projected image of the two crimson red stars beyond the grey fog. This projection was based on the connection between the crimson red and himself, intangible connection that only he himself could realistically grasp hold of. The projection will disappear once the connection is cut, and the couple will then return. So Klein figured it out really quickly, right? Wow. Shaw nodded mildly and looked at the bald chuckling of course, if you make a formal request, you can return this very moment. Adam is here? David Taco is here? Or what are you talking about? Can you unmod me real quick? Why? When she did not identify any ill intention from this stone. Okay, I can. But why? Also, I'm gonna... Paul, we decided we're gonna do this. Sure. Remove as standard moderator. There you go. I guess he's trying to hide something. When she did not identify any ill intention from his tone, Audrey heaved a sigh of relief. She believed that since a gentleman who was capable of such miraculous things had given his word, he would definitely abide by its string gently. With her mind somewhat mollified, she surprisingly was in no hurry to request her leave. She rolled her vivid eyes left and right, which sparkled with a normal radiance. That's kinda cute. No? Her eyes are so sparkly. She said in an anxious, anticipative and tempted manner, "This is such a wonderful experience. Yes, I have always been hoping that something like this would happen. I mean, I like mysteries and supernatural miracles. No, my point is, what I mean is that, sir, what can I do to become a beyonder?" Okay, I did not voice act for some reason. Did you ban someone on accident? Oh my god. Wait, we have to fix this issue, guys. Did you ban this person on accident? I don't think I can unban him. Sorry. Oh, did you do it on accident? Oh, okay. Anyway, you're hacked then, I guess. Let's keep reading. Try to fix it soon, okay? She got more excited as she spoke, so much so that she was fumbling over her words. The dream was sprouted in her as a result of listening to thrilling fantasies, as told by her elders, finally saw the possibility of being materialized. Audrey is a fellow novel reader. I love that. However, with just a few words, she had already forgotten all her previous fears and horrors. Good question. I would also like to know the answer, Shaw complained inwardly. He started to ponder on an answer to the question that maintained his unfathomable image. At the same time, he felt that it was quite unbecoming of him to talk while standing. Shouldn't he be in a palace, sitting at the head of a long table? He imagined it, and it happened, by the way. And on a mysterious high black chair engraved with an ancient patterns while slightly observing his visitors. As soon as his thoughts surfaced, the grey folk started to churn, giving both Audrey and Alger a shock. Bro can turn his thoughts into reality. That's so cool, man. The best part of reading Volume 1 is Klein's constant lampooning. Exactly. In an instant, they saw a number of towering stone pillars around them. Above them was a vast dome of Sorry, I don't like the soundtrack. Vast dome that encapsulated them. This entire edifice looked magnificent, grand and lofty, just like a legendary palace for giants. Directly under the dome where the grey folk gathered, a long bronze table appeared with 10 high-back chairs. 10 high-back chairs. Do you know what that means? I genuinely think there's going to be 9 members. With Klein, 10 members. Right? We have 3 members right now. We have Derek, Audrey, and Olger. I do think Asik is also gonna join. Because of the special episode preview. Directly on the dome, 10 high chairs, a metal arrangement along with a chair on each of the two ends of the long table. The back of each chair is dazzled and shone faintly with crimson red, drawing the outlines of weird constellation that differed from reality. Wait, 10 high back chairs on either side. So 21 chairs? Or 22 chairs? If it's 22 chairs, it's one for each pathway, by the way. Audrey and Olga sat face to face, sitting next to the seat of honor. The girl looked to her sides and could not help but mumble, "How fascinating. It certainly is fascinating." Shaw Minghui extended his right hand and caressed the edge of the bronze table, a little while maintaining an unperturbed expression. Alger inspected the surroundings and after a few seconds of silence he suddenly opened his mouth, answered Audrey's question in place of Shaw. "Are you from Loan? If you want to become a Beyonder, join the churches of either the Evernight Goddess..." Wait, what? This is Olger's. Okay, Olger is speaking. My bad. "Are you from Loan? If you want to become a Beyonder, join the churches of either the Evernight Goddess or Lord of Storms, or the God of Steam and Machinery. The majority of us will not meet a Beyonder our entire lives. This has caused searchers and even some clergymen within some of the biggest churches to suspect the same. While this is the case, I am certain to tell you that Beyonders still exist in courts, tribunals, and execution agencies. They're still fighting against the dangers that grow in the dark, only that their numbers are much fewer and compared to before and during the early days of the Iron Age." By the way, I wonder, honestly, if Beyonders didn't exist, then evil won't exist to this extent either. You know what I mean? Because Beyonders can become so fucking powerful, and if like Beyonders choose to do evil, let's say they're like sequence 2, 3, 1, 4, whatever, they're like godlike beings. They can literally blow up and nuke entire cities, right? So I feel like if Beyonders didn't even exist, evil will be a lot less dangerous, you know what I mean? Shaw listened attentively, but he tried his best to present himself as paying little attention to Olger's words. Much like how he was listening to kids telling stories. Relying on client fragmented general knowledge of history, Shaw knew clearly that the Iron Age referred to the current epoch, which was the 5th epoch that began 1349 years ago. Damn, dude. So early Iron Age, which is in the start of 5th epoch, had more Beyonders. And that's just the 5th epoch, by the way. I think the world building is gonna go insane, right? This might have the best world building of all time, dude. Audrey silently listened to Olger finish his sentence before sighing. "Mister, I know all about what you said. I even know more than that, including the Nighthawks, the Man-Made Punishers, and the Machinery hive mind. I don't want to lose my freedom." Oh! This was not said in the donghua. So she knows a lot, probably because of, you know, she has a lot of money, so she has a very ease of access to information, right? Olger gave a low-sounding laugh, and said vaguely, "You can't become a Beyonder without sacrifices. If you don't consider joining churches and accepting their challenges, you can only seek the royal families and the few nobles with family histories of more than 1,000 years. If not, you can rely on your luck to search for clandestine evil organizations." Audrey puffed her cheeks subconsciously and looked around in a fluster. After confirming that both the mysterious man and Olger did not notice her tick, she pressed, "Are there no other solutions?" Olger sank silence about half a minute later. He turned around to look at the mysterious man, who was watching the two of them in a silence. Realizing that Shaw had no plans to make any comment, he looked back at Audrey and said with deliberation, "I have 2 sets of sequence 9 potion formulas." Sequence 9, show a mutter to himself. Really? Which two sets? Audrey clearly knew what Sequence 9 potion formulas meant. Olger leaned back slightly and replied unhurriedly. As you know, humanity can only depend on potions to become real beyonders, while the names of potions come from the Blasphemy Slate. Okay. After constant translations into Jotun, Elvish, and ancient and modern Hermes, and ancient Faesak, they have undergone changes to match the day and age of that era. Okay. The essence is not in the names, but whether they portray the core characteristics of the potions. Wait! This is before they know about the acting method. This is Shaw found out about the acting method when stream is lagging. Shaw found the acting method from Roselle's diary, so that's after. That's like after drinking Zero Potion. I have a Sequence 9 potion named Sailor. It enables you to have excellent balancing capabilities. Even if you're on a boat in a rainstorm, you will be able to walk about freely as though you were on land. You also gain immense strength and you lose your scales under your skin. They will make you swim like a fish to be difficult to catch. You will move agilely underwater just like marine animals. Even without any equipment, you will be able to easily submerge underwater for at least 10 minutes. Wow, okay. Sounds great. The Keepers of the Seas from the Lord of Storms. So, Sailor Potion looks pretty cool, man. It looks like, there was no like fighting, but it makes you better at sea. I mean, makes sense, dude. I'm losing my voice. Was called by that name in the past. Olga did not pause and continued. The second Sequence 9 potion is called Spectator, also known as Audience, although I am not sure what it was called in the past. So that's interesting, by the way. That's interesting, because if it was named something else in the past, how does it affect the acting method? You know what I mean? Set of potions enables you to have an exceptionally sharp mind with acute observational abilities. I believe you can understand what Spectre means from watching operas and plays, just like Audience. Spectre is charged to actors in the secular world, catching a glimpse of the real thoughts of them through their emotions, conduct and mantras. At this point, Olga emphasized, you must remember, regardless of whether you are at extravagant banquet or crowded street, spectators can only be spectators forever. Damn. Audrey's eyes shone as she listened and spoke after a long while. Why? Alright, this is a follow-up question. I think I have fallen in love with this feeling of being a spectator. How can I get this potion formula? What can I use to trade it with you for it? Can I have mod back? Sure, buddy. I did. What can I use to trade it for it? She has so much money. It's not your buddy, Bal. Listen up, you're not my pal, buddy. Quite tiring. Yeah, I have to practice my voice, man. I need some throat skills. But I like it. I love reading the novel because I have like an active community I can talk to. It feels like I have a lot of friends reading with me, you know what I mean? Ah, sure is his surname, true. My throat hurts, guys. I don't have water right now. I'll get it after this chapter. Alger looked like he was already prepared as he said in a deep voice, the blood of ghost sharks, at least 100 millimeters of it. Audrey nodded her head excitedly, but subsequently asked worriedly, "If I can get it, and I'm saying if, how do I hand it to you? How can you promise me that you gave the potion formula to me in return for the ghost shark's blood, as well as the authenticity of the formula?" Holger said calmly, "I'll give you an address. I'll mail the formula to you, or tell me directly here, once I receive the blood of the ghost shark. As for promises, I think that both of you and I can feel assured under the witness of the mysterious Sir." As he said, he swept his eyes towards Mingrui, who was sitting up straight at the seat of honor. "Sir, the fact that you brought us here shows that you have tremendous strength, unimaginable to us. Neither one of us will have dare violate the promise with you as a witness." "That's right." That's right. Wait, that's right. Audrey's eyes sparkled and agreed with excitement. From her perspective, the mysterious gentleman who had unimaginable abilities was definitely an authoritative witness. How could I or the guy opposite of me dare trick him? True. Audrey has the right idea. Audrey half turned her body and looked at Shaw Mingrui earnestly. "Sir, please be the witness of our trade." At that moment, she then realized that she was all doing polite, having forgotten all along to ask a particular question. She asked hurriedly, "Sir, how shall we address you?" Oh, here we go, guys. There we go. Here we fucking go. Olger nodded slightly and echoed the same question in a serious manner. "Sir, how should we address you?" Shaw Mingrui was taken aback, gently wrapped his fingers on the bronze table. His contents on the earlier divination flashed across his mind suddenly. He leaned back, withdrew his right hand and arms crossed his 10 fingers, placing them below his chin. He then gave the duo a faint smile. "You can address me as..." Upon saying this, he paused for a moment. He said amiably and calmly, "The fool." The fool! Holy shit! We had our first Grey Folk meeting, by the way, and it went amazing. Language of Science. Oh, earlier, yeah. We had our first Grey meeting and it's fucking peak. That's what people are saying, that this show or this donghua had so many Grey Folk meetings, like, you know, glanced over and not adapted. Wow, okay. Guys, it's been a 3-hour stream. I wanted to do 10 chapters. We did 6 chapters. I think I like the yapping approach. I like looking stuff up on Google. For example, of course not spoilery stuff, but we looked up the Jin and Han dynasty because of the connection to the ritual. And I love discussing with you guys. So, we might take 20 to 30 minutes per chapter, right? But I think it's more fun to discuss more, right, guys? And soon I'm gonna revive my notes. I think I stopped writing some notes after like episode 9. I was depressed over old Neil's death. Yapping is fine. If you guys like yapping, then you know I love yapping, so I'll yap more, I guess. Next stream in a few days, guys. Do necromancy on some notes. I have to. The discussion there isn't written on same. Okay, so basically, guys, I know we did only 6 chapters today. The episode, if you missed the beginning of the stream, the reaction is gonna go up on Sunday on YouTube, and then we have a new novel reading every few days, right? But if you do wanna watch my reactions early, you can on Patreon, and there's a new discount code for a new tier I made yesterday. It's not loading. Wow. Good ad. Okay, there we go. Beyonder. So a tier only for Lord of Mysteries novel. And you're gonna watch like 3 weeks ahead. So I'll try to do streams every few days. I'll do like 5 to 15 per stream. And I will see you in a few days. I'll announce all my streams. Like, I'll try to announce it at least 12 hours before on my Discord. So if you haven't joined my Discord, go join. And I will see you really, really soon. Bye bye, guys. I love you guys so much.